In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
And it is perfect. It's your boy, Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. It is a great week to be a Panther fan because Cam Newton returns to Bank of America to save Carolina from Ron Rivera and the Washington football team. And boy, he has saved our hopes and dreams. One man has breathed life into an organization, and a defense is ready to fight for that chip. Just a week ago, I was ready to hang the shoulder pads up, to retire the cleats, to start thinking about the draft. But one man came in and brought enough excitement. Even Robbie Anderson up in the press conference, pop, right beside Cam Newton. Oh my God, he was side by side, the man, just like Cody Lashney is side by side. Tony Dunn on Tuesday nights. Great to see you, brother. Cam Newton in Charlotte. Boy, it's a good time.
Tony, I'm so happy because I didn't know if we would ever get this moment again. In fact, I feel like most of us at one point would have guessed that we're witnessing the impossible right now, man. That Cam Newton is back in Carolina. Tony Dunn, listen, you already know there's no way I'd rather be on a Tuesday night, especially when talking about my man Cameron Jarrell Newton back home for the Panthers. You know we're going to do it with the best fans in all of YouTube. You already know them and love them. It's ATX19, Christina Aguara, CJA, Joey the Blind Panther Esquivel, Sarah Taylor, Supreme Leader, Tim Estes, Underground West, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
Let's roll like the Carolina Panthers are trying to roll against the Washington football team this week. They are 3.5-point favorites. And, man, I am on cloud nine. I tell you, is that I haven't been excited about this team since we went into, Thursday night football and the Houston Texans, which I thought we were going to bring that smoke, and we didn't. And that was the first sign of what was to come. But I'm ready to bring that smoke, bring that fire. And I got to say, CK, Bank of America will be rocking. Do you think all of a sudden you're going to see a lot? Well, there probably will be some Washington football fans there. There will be some burgundy jerseys. But boy, that place was about to be the wrong color a week ago. And this Sunday, it's going to be black and blue and a lot of number ones hanging around.
Brother, here's the thing. This could have gone completely the other way. We could have seen Washington coming to town with Cam Newton on their roster. Washington said, no thanks. We're going to roll with Taylor Heineke. It worked out well for them last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But here's what I want to talk about. For a year and a half, and I'm going to shame you guys before subscriber shame. You in the chat have been saying, stop talking about Cam.
Get him.
Stop talking about Cam.
Get him.
A year and a half in, you say, stop talking about Cam. He's not on the Panthers. Well, guess what? He's on the Panthers, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go. Get him. Cam Newton's a Carolina Panther, and he is back.
He a Carolina Panther. Greg, can you tell I'm excited? Greg, can you tell I'm excited?
I can tell you're excited, man. I think we all are. It has been a fantastic week. I've carried this with me through the week to keep me going. And Cody, I got to correct you, man. It was not only at a certain point in time we were talking about this never being a possibility. It was last damn week we were talking about this. At this time, last week, we were talking about this. I brought up the Superman Returns, the many iterations of it, but we'll never see it in Carolina again. And we talked about it. Y'all talked about it with David Newton. It's never going to happen. And the next damn day, Cam Newton's my goddamn quarterback again.
Let's go. I love it, dude.
Listen, at work, I have people that are Panthers fans, but not like Panthers fans like we are. You know, like you ask them, who's your favorite football team? They're Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
They were excited this week. Even people who don't follow football that much were excited Cam Newton was back. I haven't heard but a very, very few bad comments about this. So I'm super excited.
I tell you one thing, Cody, is that you're used to, when it comes to Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton in the same discussion, a segment, a portion of Panther fans that didn't like him from the beginning, right? A guy from the very beginning that Cam Newton came in, there were guys that there was the Charlie Casserole. His name's Charlie Casarelli or Casser, whatever his name is. I call him Charlie Casserole, former GM. I don't know how he was a GM. This mug said that he would draft Blaine Gabbert over Cam Newton 99 out of 100 times or something. And I just would be like this. Number one, Cam Newton. Number one, who the hell is Blaine Gabbert, bro? Remember when they put his name up all funky on TV like that? But Cam Newton right now, there is usually a contingent of people that be like, oh, Cam Newton, his shoulders bum. Oh, Cam Newton is all about himself. And there have, every now and then, I've seen one of those tweets float across my timeline. But boy, them voices have been soft and quiet and just sitting back, because I know they still feel that way, but they didn't like the way they felt 5 days ago or 6 days ago. They didn't like the way they felt when Sam Darnold was a quarterback. So them voices quiet. And I know that you have high hopes for Cam Newton in the greatest, in the words of Bob Marley, redemption song.
Redemption song.
Tony,
It's all Cam Newton's ever had, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I just want to say one thing, dude. Death, taxes, and Cam Newton haters will abound, dude. We know that they're never gonna go away. But you know what? We don't give a single shit, do we? I've maintained, and I said this when we first brought Matt Rule on to be the head coach of the Panthers, that if you gave Cam Newton an opportunity to thrive in Joe Brady's offense with these kinds of weapons, that we could potentially see the best Cam Newton that we have ever seen, man. Mm-hmm. Look, I'm on this optimism train. You can't tell me otherwise. Until I see different, dude, I'm believing it. This is going to be the best Cam Newton that we have ever seen, Tony Dunn. And real quick, I want to make sure we give our shout outs. Corey Brewery with the $4.99 says, I wish my wife looked at me the same way Robbie looked at Cam in that press conference.
Amen. Amen. Well, from your picture, y'all look happy. Corey Bromery. No, y'all look happy. But so did Robbie Anderson, my man. He was feeling good. I tell you this, I'd never seen a dual press conference or dual post game press conference from two players in Carolina. They were all like this, right beside each other.
Real quick, Tony,
Carolina boys.
Can I step in the confession booth here? I want to maybe start this as a segment here if we need to. I got to step in the confession booth, man. So I need you to hear me out.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
Yeah, you talked about Blaine Gabbert back in 2011. I'm not going to lie. I was on the train of don't draft Cam Newton and draft Blaine Gabbert. I was on that train. I was really, really preaching it hard, and I was wrong, and I'm sorry, and I just got to ask for forgiveness. You know, I could never ever be more wrong in anything I think in my life. To be truly honest.
The good news is Cam Newton is a good Christian man who be reading his devotionals in the morning, and he subscribes and believes in forgiveness. And I believe he also thinks this is a moment of redemption. Bro. So we absolve you for your past sins when it comes to Cam Newton. Go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. Be a part of the show. The number is 252-228-5098. We got a great show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about Cam Newton, of course. We're going to be talking about the Carolina Panthers and their future, and how this has changed from now a team that really I left for dead. Was thinking about talking about draft, and we were 2 weeks ago we were talking about fire sale, and now you saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose to the Washington football team. You saw the Atlanta Falcons get smoked. The New Orleans Saints done, right? They lost too. The Carolina Panthers win against an important NFC team that continues to help with their tiebreakers down the road. The Panthers want wild card. They want division. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking this. I saw those poor Los Angeles Rams last night. I want to buy at this point. Cam Newton going to get us a buy. We on a run. We on a run. And we want you to be on that run with the C3 Panthers podcast. Be a part of the show. Oh, we're going to be previewing the show tonight, previewing the game with Louie Tee, my man from the Louie Tee Network, longtime friend, original OG of YouTube, and dominating it. Big Washington football fan. He's going to help us figure out what Ron Rivera, Antonio Gibson, former Carolina Panther Taylor Heineke, and Scott Turner coming back to Bank of America. I got to tell you, I don't think they're going to be able to hear anything. That's what I say. I mean, it is going to be a snap count nightmare. If I can get this. Hold on. Now I got it right. I mean, imagine this. They better be practicing the silent count all night. But I asked Panther fans, Cody, what we should be talking about in Panther Nation tonight on the C3 Panthers podcast. Panthers FI sent this, and I thought it was a cool kind of start to this. As Cam returns to save Carolina against Ron Rivera, he asked this, or he mentioned on Twitter, talk about how you felt when number one stepped on the field behind center. I'm going to take that tweet and kind of expand upon it a little bit. Cody, how did you feel as Cam Newton stepped behind center? And also, how does that translate when he comes out of the tunnel in Bank of America? He's on mute. Oh, he's on mute. He was bringing the fire.
One time I'm on mute. Listen, no, the energy is real, man. When Cam Newton is under center, you feel like you have a chance to win any football game that the Panthers are in, as we have seen be the case so many times in Cam Newton's career. It has now since come out that Cam Newton is getting a majority of the snaps as the starter in practice this week as we prepare for the Washington football team. And this is perfect, man, because I really believe that Cam Newton is healthier than he has been in a long time. And I really do think we might see something of a passing performance from Cam Newton. Maybe nothing too fancy. We want to run the football. We want to be aggressive. We don't want to change our identity too much. But I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to see a Robbie Anderson over-the-top connection with Cam Newton that we've been missing for a while now with our deep shots here in Carolina. So I'm pumped about it. I'm hoping that we see the old Cam Newton that's throwing bombs downfield. And hopefully we might be able to open our offense in a way that we haven't been able to do so far this season.
Even if you don't take the deep shot, you know Robbie Anderson, them are feeling good. They're feeling confident. Cam wants to show that he can be more than just a 10-play guy, only in passing situations or running the ball. CK, but he's always got the best running back in the league. Made it through a full game last week. Christian McCaffrey, even if he's not dealing like a ton of passes, even if he comes out and throws 18 passes, 9 of those are going to be Christian McCaffrey, who looked fantastic, shot out of a cannon last week. Cam Newton steps into Bank of America. What do you think is going to feel like there?
You know, I just want you to imagine, right? You guys know the way that it all works in the Bank of America Stadium. If you've never been to a game, they go through the whole announcements, and then they have the last person come out that's going to be typically the star, like the guy. A lot of times it was Luke if they were doing the defense, and it's usually Cam if they were doing the offense. Here recently it's been C-Mac, right? Just you got that music roaring. A lot of times it's the I think it's AC/DC that they come out to. Just he comes out of that tunnel, the smoke is coming out, the fire, he stands there with his one up in the air and just like ready, dude, and just coming out, dude. I've just got chill bumps thinking about it. But here's what I want to think about right now. Right now, the Carolina Panthers, if Cam Newton comes out and he proves to be the Cam Newton that we all hope that he is, even if it is the 2017 Cam, who wasn't necessarily airing the ball out down the field, but was very efficient and very good at what he was doing, even if that is the Cam Newton that we've got, we have name a team that's more scary other than maybe the Arizona Cardinals, right? With our defense, think about this. Cam Newton, well rested. Christian McCaffrey, well rested. On the defense, Shaq Thompson, well rested. On the defense, Stephon Gilmore, well rested. I mean, just talk about some of these pieces that are key pieces to our entire squad. They're coming back. This feels like a team ready to make a playoff push. And this week, I know we've got the Washington Redskins. It's one that we can't look past, but I'm super stoked to see what they decide to do with Cam Newton. Here's my caveat. I do think that Cam Newton can change this, but I also have concerns that Joe Brady is not going to do what Tony was talking about, which is adapt his offense to fit Cam Newton rather than expect Cam Newton to fit his offense. That's not going to be something that you should do. You should definitely, and that's where our success in 2015 came with Mike Shula. He had an offense predicated around Cam Newton's strengths, and that's what they relied upon. Hopefully that we're able to see that this week.
Before we go to that, because I know there's a lot to talk about that, we got Louie Tee coming on in 15 minutes. Greg, as Cam Newton comes out, look, he had 2 touchdowns and 2 touches last week. We left this team for dead just a week ago. All of a sudden, I'm sitting here going playoffs. I'm sitting here going division. They could be real opportunities. Now, I'm trying to temper my expectations just a little bit, Greg. But look, even if Cam Newton comes out and has a limited playbook, even if he's rusty to a certain degree, how much worse could it truly be than what we had with Sam Darnold and the feeling there? Is this alone, Cam Newton's presence, enough to improve this team?
Tony, let me tell you how important his presence is. 1995, I've been a fan since then, man. I've been through Collins and Bridgewater and Berline and Pete and Winky and Clausen and Allen and every quarterback Carolina's been through, okay? I would say the first years up through 2011, which is a lot of years, me and the Panthers were dating. I love this team. They were my passion. In 2011, we got married with Cam Newton. And quite honestly, Cam Newton is the only quarter. Yeah. Cam Newton is the only quarterback that when I see him under center feels normal. The second he walked on the field, the second I heard that cadence and I saw the snap and I saw number 1 under center, it felt right again. And that's just me as a fan. I can only imagine what it feels like for the players and what it looks like for the players. It looks like Cam Newton's presence there is such a great deal to everybody. It feels like the team is energized. It feels like they're playing smarter. They're playing harder. They have hope. Superman brings hope, man. And I'm telling you, Cam Newton is the only guy I see under center for me right now. And I don't know how far in the future that feels right. And it feels so good to have him back. So I think his presence there is tremendous. And I think I agree with you. I don't see any reason why we can't win this division. And if not, at least make a wild card based on what we've seen now and what we're going into in the second half of the season and where we're at now with, like CK said, the healthy players, Cam Newton coming back. Everybody's kind of in a honeymoon stage right now. They really are. The whole Carolina Panthers franchise environment is in a honeymoon stage because Cam Newton is back. And good things happen on honeymoons, usually. So,
Tony, I want to ask the question to everyone, and CK kind of touched on it a little bit to start. I've been listening to all the 4-letter networks talk about the Panthers now, and I'm just happy that they are talking about the Panthers. But a lot of people seem to be very excited and very big on the Panthers going forward, potentially even giving us a chance in the NFC South. I wanted to hit on something that CK touched on. And is Joe Brady going to have to fit his offense to Cam Newton? Or can Cam Newton adapt his play style to Joe Brady and what Joe Brady wants to do in his offense? Because I feel like the popular belief is that Joe Brady has to mold what he wants to do to Cam Newton. But if you look at the way Joe Brady kind of schemes his receivers open, I really think that a calmer, older, more poised Cam Newton might be able to walk into this, get on rhythm, and do exactly what Joe Brady and Matt Rule have been wanting of our offense since the start of this year.
What do you mean, like, is scheming our wide receivers, though? Our wide receivers have been locked down for the majority of the year. I don't think he's really done a lot to scheme our wide receivers to be open.
I wouldn't say they've been locked down. I would say that they've had one inconsistent quarterback play. I would say that they've dealt with their fair share of drops. But then there's also been times when they have been wide open and just Sam Darnold, or for whatever reason, the pocket didn't hold up. Whatever reason you want to try and pinpoint, there have been open plays. And, where you want to talk about drop passes or just receivers being at the wrong place at the wrong time, there are guys getting open. And I kind of feel like Cam Newton, once he has enough starts and enough reps, I have no doubt in my mind that Cam should be able to hit all those guys in rhythm like Sam Darnold wasn't able to.
I'll tell you this is, we heard terms like vanilla with Joe Brady over the few weeks, the last 3 weeks, the losing weeks, right? We saw a regression in Joe Brady. You heard me talking about this, is that I think it would be absurd to continue to just believe that he's this genius. When you see an offensive line that was so inept, when you see quarterback play that's so bad, when you see receivers that are disheveled, you wondered if he was kind of had the experience enough to command a NFL offense. You saw this PJ Walker, and let's do this. Let's not talk about only Cam in this case, just replacing Sam Darnold last week with PJ Walker. I felt like you saw an offense that was more in rhythm. You saw an offense that that did different things, but wasn't limited to one or two things only. Then you see Cam Newton being brought in there, the willingness to run a couple of run pass options, to put Cam in the red zone and even throw the ball, maybe even take a deep shot, which people say Cam underthrew. And if he underthrew it, look, I love this when they say you underthrew a 46-yard pass, and it's like you underthrew it by 1 yard. You could overthrow it by 1 yard. The window for throwing it perfect is literally this big, and it's so far down the field. Anyway, you saw them take deep shot. You saw them run wildcat. You saw them do some creative things. And what I saw in this is that with just PJ Walker in and the addition of Cam Newton, Joe Brady, with I think the confidence to call a more diverse offense rather than one in the previous weeks with Sam Darnold that was so fearful of anything particularly going wrong that they said they had to run the ball 50 times a game. Right. And imagine that. Imagine being an offensive coordinator who can't call a game that he sees fit and has kind of confidence in exploiting a defense, taking advantage of his offensive weapons because he's fearful of what's happening or could happen with both his quarterback and the offensive line. So I think this is my answer to your question is I didn't know if Joe Brady had a system before, Cody. I truly didn't. And I don't think he did. I don't think he knew or could do enough of even what he thought he could do. But now, even with just PJ Walker, now with the addition of Cam, I think it takes a burden off of Joe Brady. One, that we even saw a burden off of this offensive line. The offensive line played better last week. Tell me that. What really changed?
Yeah.
What changed about this team? Cam Newton played 9 snaps, 10 snaps, whatever it was. PJ Walker wasn't a shell sock, crazy, scaredy cat. He stood in there. Yeah, did he misfire a couple of times? But I thought that the offensive line even fed off of that. And that was with Dennis Daly at left tackle. And here's my question, y'all. Is Dennis Daly a better left tackle than a left guard?
No, dude.
I think so.
I could be wrong, But I just kept on seeing him getting penalty after penalty on the play-by-play. So you tell me
that was just one set in a row, and the first one was a bullshit call. The first one, that holding call, was bullshit. And then a false start on the next call, which there was so much movement. Yeah, he got it, but he got 2 penalties in a row. Was there more than that? I actually thought this is that for a guy who never played it, I didn't feel like the offensive line was improved, guys.
Yeah.
And that was with
agree.
Pat Eflin playing center.
All right. So here's the question I have. I mean, obviously we see those improvements. Do you believe if this team goes undefeated the rest of the season, which we know is probably not going to happen, but if that were to be the case, this team goes undefeated for the rest of the season, does Matt Rule deserve a Coach of the Year award?
Oh God, no. Well, how about this? Does Cam Newton get comeback player of the year?
Of course,
Or better. He's damn sure
But he
better,
can't.
man.
He wasn't hurt. It goes to an injured player.
Does it,
usually?
or does it go to an injured player? Well, yeah, I guess it does.
Chat,
No,
help us out. Imagine that.
It's not necessarily injured. It doesn't have that necessarily that moniker along with it, but it's definitely possible. Like Sam Darnold had the opportunity to be a comeback player. It's definitely in the cards. But I guess my question more or less revolves around, a lot of people are going to look and say, he swallowed his pride. He called up a guy who could get him there. That would have been hard for other coaches to admit that maybe they were wrong when they let him go. And by that, making that phone call, it was right. But at the same time, do we give him those kudos, or do we say you should have never cut him in the first place to sign a guy who was unproven? Right. That's, I guess my question is, do you believe that Matt Rule signing Cam Newton warrants him a position, or at least consideration for that award, or is it kind of like, definitely not? He's been too wishy-washy. He's been too, he hasn't been somebody who sticks to his sticks to his guns, it seems like, up to this point. So,
well, now that Cam Newton is back, we have to see Matt Rule put us in some advantageous positions. He has to use his timeouts well. He has to be aggressive. We all know too well about the cardiac cats. Mm-hmm. So if we are able to maintain a momentum and get up big early in the first and second quarter, we need to go out there and put up points in the third quarter and step on them. Mm-hmm. Enough of letting teams back in. This is a brand new Carolina Panther football team. All of our bad tropes from the past, we're done with them, man. And I want Matt Rule to be the main part of what brings us into the future. Our coach has to be the leader of the football team and still has to set the identity. And to be fair, I think in Cam Newton's press conferences, he has said that a lot, that he wants to come in and do what Matt Rule asked him to do. And if we start to see Cam Newton flourish in a way that we haven't seen him before, listen, we're not going to criticize these coaches when the team is terrible and then not give them their just due and their respect if all of a sudden the team starts to play better and Cam Newton starts to look the part. So we have to be fair no matter what. That's what I think.
I think, honestly, CK, for me, your question boils down to two things, or one thing really. Is this Cam Newton's team or Matt Rule's team? And while I'm fine with it being Cam Newton's team, I would much more appreciate it if it was Matt Rule's team and he stepped up in it. So I'm really asking, with this situation with Cam, did you swallow your pride, or are you tucking your tail?
I'm with you, Greg. There should not be. First is, if we go on this crazy run and it was after us being a mess like this, is that really? It's just you should just give all the awards to Cam.
Right.
Is that all of a sudden? I don't think that's a great. I'm with Greg on that. Is that and it's you cut these guys and you made all these bad decisions, and you went back with your tail tucked between your legs, groveling on your hands and knees, and you said, come on back. And like you said, Cody, mature enough. Think about this. Is Cam Newton, if he's all the things that all the people said he was, the bad things he was, you think he would handle these press conferences with such excitement and such grace, being so excited about being a Carolina Panther? Or would there be bitterness? Would there be pettiness? I'd be coming back and saying, I'm here. Good to be back. Shouldn't let me go. I wouldn't say those things, but he hasn't had that. It has been 1000% team, even in the a post-game press conference this guy wore for the first time, I think, ever. I saw in a post-game show him he was wearing a Panthers zipper up cardigan or whatever it is. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a Panther logo. That is those things for a man who thinks out every single thing about his wardrobe. You think that was just happenstance? Yeah. That was a statement. That was a statement that's saying I'm here and I'm all here, 100% here.
Maybe that was
part of the deal. I think that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, maybe that was part of the deal where it was like, well, when you're doing Panthers business, you know, you dress like this.
He would never sign that deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
he would never.
I don't care how the guy dresses. Okay, like just to put it out there, I don't care, but I know that's a lot of people's problem, and I'm telling people that's a really stupid problem to have. It really is. It's like when you want your president to be your friend. I don't need a friend. I need a president. You know, so that's a really stupid problem to have with a quarterback. I don't care how he dresses. I need a quarterback.
Yeah, and you know how Cam Newton has instantly turned around our chances for success. We're all doing this same thing where we're wondering, well, man, what would that game against the Dallas Cowboys have looked like if we had Cam Newton? What would that game against the Giants have looked like? Against the Philadelphia
Eagles?
What would they have looked like if we had Cam Newton under center? So really, it's having us rethink everything we know about these 5-5 Carolina Panthers. And we're still, Tony, I always say that it's week 6 and on. That's when you find out who the real contenders are. And really, I feel like for the Panthers, that deadline has been extended a little bit because of how our quarterback position has been in such a rotation, not only last year, but starting this year with Sam Darnold. Then, there was a hot minute where we thought PJ Walker was going to be our starter going forward. And shout out to PJ. He played very well against the Arizona Cardinals. But now that Cam Newton is here, man, we're really wondering if we're one of the better teams in football. We just haven't gotten a chance to see it yet.
See, I don't think we have to go that far. First, I agree with you, right? Is that we don't know who we are as a team, right? There is a lot of uncertainty about this team, and certainly there's a lot of uncertainty, and certainly there is a lot of excitement, right? Cam Newton brings this excitement. It brings something to savior to the Carolina Panthers because we didn't think that this team had what it took to be a contender going forward with what we had. And we didn't know entirely 2 weeks ago what it was. We've got more data. We have got more data since Sam Darnold has gone to IR. And now they put in PJ Walker, brought in Cam for a couple of series. This is that right now we were thinking this just 2 weeks ago, Cody, everything was in question for me. Is my question. You were talking about David Tepper, right? You were letting David Tepper have it, and rightfully so, for his franchise building process. I was all of a sudden saying this, a guy in Matt Rule, who I believed had no matter what, because just before this season started, would have 3 years with this team. There's no way, you know what I'm saying? It's like he's going to get his 3rd year. No way we're going to be worse. We're going to be on this upward trajectory. Things were so bad, I'm starting to wonder if Matt Rule may even not be the coach next year, possibly. We're questioning Joe Brady. We're questioning the offensive line, right? We're questioning Sam Darnold and the quarterback. We're questioning even Scott Fitter and some of the moves that were being made in the offseason with the offensive line, some of the moves and this win now mentality when it didn't seem like we were ready. We did think the defense was good, but we didn't know if they were good enough to save us alone. And it would be too much to ask them to do so. So we weren't even giving them a pass, but we knew that they were the strength of the team. Now, Cody, we've gotten a little bit more data. We have a data set with no Sam Darnold. Now we see Joe Brady with a better game. We see a team on the road that goes and beats a relatively good team, albeit, or actually a very good team, arguably one of the best teams in the NFL, albeit they were hobbled without their starting quarterback and some important pieces in DeAndre Hopkins. But now the data is telling us that we could be wrong in thinking we were dead. And now it's like this is we have to see. We got to see what we can be. But all of a sudden now I believe this. Let's talk about how good this defense can be now that there's an offense that can capitalize on a turnover in the other zone. That's what happened in this Arizona game. Right away, the defense creates a turnover. They give us an opportunity. What that would have been 2 weeks ago is 0 points or 3 points. Now we're talking about touchdowns, right? And now I'm starting to think of this defense being better than what could have been in the other circumstances. It's still to be determined, but it's got to be looking better than it was.
Yeah, and listen, Tony, couldn't you easily foresee a scenario where a fast, aggressive Panthers defense takes advantage of Taylor Heineke using that man coverage, using Hassan Reddick coming off the edge, being aggressive, getting into his face? I mean, this seems like a wonder matchup for our defense right now. I mean, even if you look at the other side of the football, now the Washington football team is without Chase Young for the rest of the year. So listen, it doesn't matter if it's Cam Irving, Dennis Daly, or Brady Christensen playing left tackle. They're not going to have to go against Chase Young. So that's better no matter what. And then also, one of the things that you mentioned about defense that we have to pinpoint is that we have never, ever seen Shaq Thompson play better football than he is playing right now. And, you know, we talk about no one was able to replace Cam Newton after Cam Newton left. Well, you know, Luke hasn't been gone very long, but no one has been able to replace Luke Kuechly in the time that he's been out. And now you're starting to finally see Shaq Thompson step into that role, flying around the football field, changing plays at the line of scrimmage. Like, Shaq Thompson is a pivotal part of our defense right now. And I think everything kind of flows faster around him because of what Shaq Thompson is doing. So you mentioned that defense, and I just have to make it a point to echo the name Shaq Thompson because I think it deserves it, Tony.
Yeah, he's so that you guys are aware. I don't know if you guys know this, but PFF has graded this week 2 Carolina Panthers over 90, and it was Hassan Reddick and Shaq Thompson. So, and they're they're in the top 90. So, and Shaq Thompson was at the top of the list, by the way.
Doesn't surprise me.
NFL.
Doesn't surprise me. Go ahead, Tony.
On this defense, I think there are 2 Pro Bowl players. In fact, I think there's only 2 Pro Bowlers on this team right now, and both of them on the defense. I think you just named one, and Shaq Thompson. And I know he missed a game or 2, but I think that he's been, like you said, and again, this is my courtesy apology to Shaq Thompson this season, and I'll give it to you, bro. I'm gonna give it to you. Is because I've been hard on you. And you know what else? What was I supposed to be? We're supposed to be talking about you. We're supposed to be talking about these Carolina Panthers. We're talking about somebody I bought the jersey before I ever saw him play a snap. And his tenure until last year had been whelming. Not entirely underwhelming, not overwhelming, but he has been trending in the right direction for the last couple of years. One thing is he took a leadership role on this defense in the absence of Luke Kuechly. We saw the connection between him and Matt Rule and stepping up in the locker room and being a field general. And we saw the defense, even when he wasn't playing fantastic, was better when he was on the field. This year, he has started to play. He has been playing fantastic. That leadership role has continued. And I say Shaq Thompson right now, who is on pace, I think, to have his 3rd consecutive season with 100 tackles, is a Pro Bowler. Y'all tell me who the other guy is, because he's also the $1 billion man.
Hassan Reddick, baby.
It's
Hassan
gotta
Reddick.
be. It's
It has
gotta
to
be
be.
Hassan Reddick.
He's our best pass rusher, man. And I think that we're now doing this thing where we're even, if we're all being honest, we're even kind of looking at Brian Burns a little bit different as, we thought you were supposed to be the primary pass rusher on our football team, but it feels like Hassan Reddick actually is. And by the way, I'm not trying to be too hard on Brian. I think Brian still has the potential to be a tremendous pass rusher in the NFL. But, it took Hassan Reddick a long time to turn it on. It was only last year that Hassan Reddick really finally started to make a big time name for himself in his final season with the Cardinals. It takes time. So I almost think that it's good that Brian Burns has that kind of mentor rushing with him on the other side to kind of show him a vision of what it looks like sometime,
Let's blame Ron Rivera. Let's blame Ron Rivera for Brian Burns not being more developed than he is, because in all reality, he should have been starting every single game his rookie year. And instead, he was special teams extraordinaire.
He had too many snaps on special teams, not enough snaps on defensive end. Look, I don't want to sleep on Brian Burns. Look, Hassan Reddick's season has been so statistically dominant, actually, and so not only just statistically dominant. These plays have been game-changing plays, game tone setting plays early. These aren't garbage time sacks that Hassan Reddick has been getting. He has been very pivotal. And look, it's more kudos to him than it is slander on Brian Burns, right? As Brian Burns is having a fine season, it's just we didn't recognize. It's surprising when Hassan Reddick had such a fantastic season last year that he's able to not supersede, but exceed that type of season. That's a tough bill to fill. All right, guys, you're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast, the longest running Panthers podcast out there. We've been on these YouTube streets for a minute. Cody, I want you to bring in our guest, Louie Tee. Louie Tee from the Louie Tee Network. And I tell you this guy's been on the streets just as long. And I tell you, he's the man. I tell you, he owns these streets. Louie Tee, my man, my friend, Washington football fan. How you doing?
Man, it's been a long time since I've been able to bless the C3, but we go way back, man. So it's fun to be here. And anytime we're able to get together, it's a good time. So thank you for having me.
Man, thank you for coming on. And you're right, we have been. Today I went on a show with, I don't know if you've heard of him, Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. He's like a giant YouTube extraordinary. He's like a billionaire. He made all this. Like he's been all over this. They emailed me and they said, you want to come on this and talk Carolina Panthers football? I was like, hell yeah, I want to hang out with Gary V. And I was thinking about this, is that I was watching his stuff and it was important to me when we were all trying to get our podcast and things off the ground. And that was like, I was looking back at his videos 7-8 years ago. Louie Tee, you've been pounding the pavement for a long time. And I know you've been a Washington football fan for a long time. How are you guys doing this season and coming off a big win against the Bucs?
Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster, really, because I think, and I said this in the offseason going into the year, that the worst thing that happened to Ron Rivera in year one was the best thing that happened to him, which was winning the division. It was a terrible division, and we won it at 7-9. And you guys can attest to that. You've won 7, 8-1 divisions and all kinds of nonsense before. So you guys know what it's like to do that with Ron Rivera as the head coach, get hot at the end of the season in a bad division and win it. But he wasn't looking to do that in year one. And what it did was it put a ton of pressure on him to win in year two that he really wasn't looking to have. He came in and he made sure he said this at least 15 times. In the military, it takes 3 to 4 years to change a culture. And he kept saying that over and over for a reason, because he wanted people to understand, like, I'm tearing this down and I'm building it back up in my image. And it's going to take a while because we got a lot of off the field nonsense to deal with. We're still dealing with it now. You know, it still hasn't gone away. We don't have a nickname. We're still going through that process and won't have one until February. And there's so many other things I could talk about. But on the field, they stripped the roster down. And he talked about mistakes he made in Carolina. And one of the mistakes he said he made was he allowed the roster to get too old. And he was too dependent on veteran players and to a fault. And he said he wasn't going to allow that to happen this time. So what he did was he rid the roster of veteran players in exchange for young guys. He moved on from Ryan Kerrigan when a lot of fans wanted Kerrigan back. And Kerrigan even said he would take a reduced role to stay. And he was like, no, I'm going to draft a couple of young guys and we're going to continue to build this roster with young players.
Morgan Moses.
I was going there next. The right tackle. He wasn't making egregious money. They didn't have to cut Morgan Moses, but they drafted a tackle in the second round, Samuel Cosme out of Texas. He wanted him to get on the field. He was in the way, was Morgan Moses, and he cut him. It was simple. And he did it with Adrian Peterson when he first got here. Drafted Antonio Gibson. Peterson was here already, a trusted veteran. Ron went to him and said, hey, we would like you to stay here in a mentorship role. And Adrian Peterson says, I'm nobody's mentor. I want to play. Okay, cool. You can go. So we've seen him do this, but in doing that, there are going to be bumps in the road. You're going to have a lot of pitfalls because these young players are going to make mistakes. And so we still don't have a franchise quarterback. And so all of these things, you stop piling on top of each other. And you knew that this was a realistic possibility because the only reason we won the division last year is because Dallas didn't have Dak and the Giants lost Saquon Barkley. And so we literally were the last team standing in what was a terrible division. And so all these expectations were piled on Ron. The one thing that I do think he was disappointed in, and us as fans were disappointed in, was this defense. Because the one thing we were supposed to be able to hang our hat on coming into the season, we didn't know what we were going to get out of the offense. But what we told ourselves was, hey, the quarterback position can't be any worse. We had the 32nd rated quarterback position in the league last year. We went through 4 quarterbacks. So we can't. Don't worry,
we tried to top you with Sam Darnold. We tried to give it to you.
I'm upset that we had to be the team that landed on where he ended up getting injured. I'm like, just stay healthy and get hurt after us. Let me get some Sam Darnold before you bring some Cam Newton our way. Okay, I want it. Let me get some PJ Walker or something, man. Damn, let me get one of these two.
The rest of the NFC East got some Sam Darnold, except for y'all, man.
I'm jealous. I'm like, where's my Sam Darnold? Where's my Sam?
Let's stick with Ron Rivera for 1 second, because first, it's so interesting to hear you talk about that, learning from what he had in Carolina. And that's what you want to hear about players and coaches, is that learning from their experiences. We're hoping that Cam Newton even is bringing that to the table when he comes to Carolina. Now, I'm a Ron Rivera fan. We have some mixed emotion. Look, is that everybody has good and bad when it comes to them. And like you said, he was loyal to a fault in Carolina. One of the things he has all these sayings that he says all the time, right? Like and you said the military thing, and it's fine. I mean, that's what you are. You are a motivational speaker. You need to be like that. But he used to be like, these guys need 20,000. He had a number. It was like 20,000 reps. He'll tell you that. He's like, once they get 20,000 reps, is all of a sudden they're a pro or something. Right. So we got to get these. But he was loyal to a fault in Carolina. And it wasn't even just letting the roster get old. It was a hesitancy to give responsibility to younger players. We saw players sit on the shelf because they made a mistake, because they did this. And Ron Rivera just felt more comfortable with the older players. So it's interesting to hear the younger roster come forward. But I want to turn to Taylor Heineke really quick, because one of the faults that we had in Carolina, I think, it wasn't only Ron Rivera, but you have more than that. You've got Marty Herney now as the GM, right? There's a lot of Carolina DNA in Washington now. One of the things that we saw when things with Ron Rivera and Marty Herney, when things didn't work, the plan, they had this plan and it went forward and it didn't work. It was just like, oh, well, that was the plan. Well, I guess we'll have to figure a different plan out next season. And when I saw Fitzpatrick get hurt, right? And now it's just like the answer's on the roster. Taylor Heineke, it seemed like this is we're going to go with it no matter what. Do you think that Ron Rivera, would you like to see, are you okay with Taylor Heineke? And in fact, the Heineke, the hero, man, a great game in the playoffs. I mean, he's kind of a scrappy dude.
Mhm.
Are you okay with them where they are with the roster? Or do you think in some ways they've been a little too conservative with adjusting on the fly?
I think we're right where we're supposed to be. Like, that's the problem with winning the division last year, is it expedited everybody's expectations of where this team was supposed to be. We're in year 2 of a rebuild. Let's call it what it is. Let's call a spade a spade. It's a rebuild. Okay, we weren't a good roster when he got here. The only thing we had was a defensive line. That was it. That was the reason Ron was intrigued by the job. We had Montez Sweat, former first-round pick. We had Daron Payne, former first-round pick. We had Jonathan Allen, former first-round pick. And we had the number 2 pick in the draft, and he was going to spend that on Chase Young. So he knew what he had on the defensive line, and he was going to build around that. And he also knew, I got this Terry McLaurin fella. He's pretty damn good. So that's a guy that we can build around offensively, and we'll fill in all the gaps. But to your point, one of the things we were worried about when Marty Herney came on board was like, keep him away from the money, keep him away from the books.
Oh, true that.
You know what I mean? Like
Antonio Gibson was like this. He was like, man, I can't wait to have it this year. He's like, I'm about to get paid.
I'm about to get broken off. Like that was the thing we were nervous about. And Ron was like, don't worry, I got a guy for that. Like, we're going to keep him away from it. We just want him evaluating talent. And you guys can even admit, Marty's got an eye for talent. You know, you put Marty on the road. Marty's got an eye for talent. That's never been his issue. His issue was just doling out these contracts, put you in a bad spot. So we got guys, like, we've got these checks and balances set up to where everyone's got a specific role. Don't have to worry about that. But as far as Taylor Heineke is concerned, we wanted to see him. Like, I thought that Fitzpatrick getting injured was a blessing in disguise. Nobody ever wants to see anybody get hurt. And, you know, you could play the what if game. What if Fitzpatrick could stay healthy? Would we have won 2 or 3 more games than where we are right now? Maybe that's possible, but I didn't believe in Ryan Fitzpatrick. There's an 18-year history there. You know what I mean? There was enough of a sample size for me to know that, and I've already said, in the NFL rule book somewhere is the rule that if Ryan Fitzpatrick is your starting quarterback, you're not allowed.
You will not make the playoffs. He's never played a playoff game. Do you think? And one of the things I was interested about this is that it almost seemed like Fitzpatrick himself was a kind of a weird move for the rebuild moment, right? Is that
I can explain that to you. So what happened was we went after Matthew Stafford hard. Okay. They went after Stafford.
2 of us. That makes 2 of us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we were battling with you and a couple other teams, and we lost. You know, and that really set them back because I told you, winning the division expedited things. And so Ron, I think, in his mind said, "Shit, we got this defense, and you know, we got some pieces on offense, and they had made all these moves. They took Curtis Samuel from you guys. We haven't even seen him this year. He's on the milk carton." But got Curtis Samuel from you guys. And we went out. We got Adam Humphries. We drafted De'Ami Brown. We added all this speed to the offense to go with Terry McLaurin. And we had a tight end that broke out last year. So we were feeling good. Antonio Gibson had 13 touchdowns as a rookie. We thought, okay, all this offensive firepower, we just add a quarterback with the defense we've got. Oh, we could be a contender. So that's why he swung for the fences with Stafford. It didn't work. And the backup plan was, hey, we got to get one of these quarterbacks in free agency. So the first guy that came to the list, and honestly, he was probably the best of that mix. It was Dalton. It was Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor. Fitzpatrick was probably the best of the rest. So they took their shot at the guy that they figured could be a bridge quarterback, get us through the season, but still give us a chance to win. Because what you want to do if you're changing the culture is you want to instill winning in that culture. So he was going to give us an opportunity to do that, or at least they thought. And the rumor is a guy works at this water park. Ryan Fitzpatrick has like 20 kids. So he took his kids to this water park every week, every Thursday. And the guys said that Fitzpatrick goes down the fast slide and his kids would go down the slow slide. He would go down the fast slide. And one time he slipped and he fell on his hip. And he went down the slide, and when he got out of the water, he had a noticeable limp, and he did not get up the rest of the day. And
You're kidding.
I'm not lying to you. This is a true story. He told it on a radio program. This guy that works at the water park.
I believe it. First of all, I believe it. I was in Cancun, Mexico, and we went on this water slide, and this guy that was with us went on this slide, and he went on the slow slide and got twisted all around and bust his head, had to go to a Mexican hospital. This mess happens.
It's crazy, man. And so he comes out of the water, and there's something wrong with his hip, and he doesn't get back in the water. He doesn't come back to the pool for the rest of the summer. And then he gets hit in the hit. If you watch the game, obviously, you probably didn't see the hit, but the hit was one of the most inauspicious hits. It looked like a regular
because you get a better settlement. You got to get hurt on the field.
Right.
Your contract. That's actually what your contract says. If you get hurt on the field, you get the. So I've heard of guys. It's kind of like boxing. If you guys hear a guy breaks his hand outside of like the fight, they'll go and fight the fight with a broken hand and then come out afterwards and be like, broke my hand in the fight, because then it changes the money. I've heard stories of NFL players going in, hiding injuries for that very reason.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's a crazy story, Cody.
Absolutely.
Cody, my man busted his old man hip on the water slide.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Louie, listen, the chat room is loving your presence, man. I appreciate you joining us here tonight. I wanted to pivot the conversation to what Panther Nation is vibing on the most right now, brother, and that's Cam Newton. We've got him back, and we're feeling entirely different about our football team, man. You said you wanted some Sam Darnold, but we're happy that's not what we're dishing out to you anymore, man. The Panther fans are rejuvenated because of Cam Newton. But I wanted to ask you this. A lot of people, while Cam Newton was still unsigned, thought that because of his prior history with Ron Rivera, that Washington might be on the short list to sign Cam Newton. I want to ask why you think that didn't happen, and if you think that it's something that perhaps should have happened before Carolina got a chance to resign him.
So that was a point of contention among Washington fans. Like, there was this one sector of the fan base that wanted Cam. Like, we can't do any worse than Cam. So, all these guys on the roster, they're not Cam Newton. And then there was another sector, and I was a part of the other sector. I don't want anything to do with him. He's past his prime. He's had so many surgeries, shoulder and foot and back and everything. It was just, he's falling apart. I watched him early in New England, and he was playing really well. Prior to COVID, if you watched him on I Am Athlete, he talked about after COVID, he never could catch back up with the team. It's like everything kept going, and he just stopped when he got COVID. And he was horrible for them last season. He got benched 87 times. And his
team was also terrible.
The team around him was terrible. And this is the thing I always say to people who make that point. You weren't saying that when he was throwing for 400 yards against Seattle and falling 2 yards short on a Sunday night. And they got off to that great start when he was playing well. You didn't talk about the roster being bad then. So don't bring it up now. It was the same roster. And the same roster that he went on a Monday night on one of the longest game-winning drives I've ever seen in my life. This thing was like 800 plays just to kick a 60-yard field goal, but it worked, and they got the win. It's the same guys. And so I wasn't looking to hear any excuses. I just knew he didn't look good. But that said, he's comfortable in Carolina. There's a lot more talent around him. He's healthy. I don't know how long it'll be for, but I still think I cringe every time he throws the football. It looks hard. That shoulder, he gets on his tippy toes.
I disagree with you, man.
It just everything looks hard. It looks like a struggle for him throwing the football. So I'm good on Cam Newton. And I think Ron was good on Cam as well, because he didn't want to bring a guy in there that was going to have that kind of a personality, attract all of that attention. Ron wanted to move forward. And what Ron Rivera felt like Cam Newton represented was his past. And Ron is trying to move forward in Washington. So even though he's brought a lot of the guys from Carolina, pretty much his entire coaching staff, and some of the front office personnel with him from Carolina, those guys are in the background. You don't hear about those guys. Cam Newton is a guy that is a massive personality, and he would be out in the forefront of everything. And I think Ron wanted to move forward. So And I also believe Ron felt like Cam's best football was behind him too, which is why. Because I think if Ron felt like Cam could have helped, he would have brought him in. But I think he felt like Cam's best football. And I agree. I think his best football is behind him. And you guys are going to feel like this guy's the best thing since sliced bread. One, this is nostalgia for you guys, right? Like this, it brings back fond memories to see him out there running for a touchdown and throwing for a touchdown. And
certainly, but you don't know where we were just 1 week ago.
And that's what I was going to, is your quarterback situation was so bad that it doesn't really matter what you bring in with Cam.
Give me Vinny Testaverde, bro.
It can't get any worse than what you had.
But listen, so so I have another question for you that pertains to how your defense is going to try and slow down this Cam Newton. But to kind of push back against that narrative a little bit, listen, we've always had to see Cam Newton elevate a level of offense and offensive line that was frankly beneath him. I mean, dragging far inferior players, kicking and screaming into the playoffs. So when you mentioned that game against Seattle, yeah, it may have been the same guys, but at the same time, I have seen Cam Newton take a group of non-performing wide receivers and takes them all the way to New Orleans for a last-minute, Panthers almost winning and advancing against the Saints in the playoffs. I think that we're all hopeful that Cam, with the kind of offensive weapons that we have now, that this could potentially be an area where we might see the best version of Cam Newton that we've ever seen. Now, you're right. We're also very optimistic. We're buzzing right now. We're hopeful. We're feeling it. But right now, we have no reason not to believe it. But I wanted to pivot my question to this. You just recently lost Chase Young, incredible young player, to an ACL tear. What is going to be your defense's game plan for stopping Cam Newton? You really don't have a lot of film with Cam and Joe Brady's offense this season. What do you think is going to be the plan of attack to try and slow Carolina down on offense?
Yeah, I think so. Ron Rivera had disclosed to Mike Florio, and I think he was tongue in cheek, but I do think there is a bit of seriousness in there as well. When asked, is there a file that you've kept on Cam Newton of plays that you feel like can stop him defensively? And he said, yes, I have a file. I don't know if that file really truly exists. I don't think it's a tangible thing. I think
Ron Rivera ain't got no file. If it is, it's in a filing cabinet in North Carolina somewhere.
I said, look, I don't think there's a tangible file, right? But I think in his mind, he feels like he knows what he can do to try to slow him down. As far as Cam and Joe Brady's system, he doesn't know Joe Brady's system. He just literally got there. So there's only so much you can do with them. They're going to do the things that Cam Newton does well. They're going to run read option. They're going to do the RPOs. These things are going to be tough to stop because of Cam Newton and the physical presence that he is. I worry about what we are going to do to try to stop him because we've always had an issue with mobile quarterbacks. That's always been one of our kryptonites. So it's going to be a struggle. Even if Chase Young and Montez Sweat were both healthy, it would have been tough because we always have struggled with mobile quarterbacks. That said, I want to see what they decide to do. It's going to be a collective effort. And our defensive coordinator, Jack Del Rio, you guys know him. He was in Carolina at one point. He's going to have to scheme it up. We're going to have a bunch of guys out there. We still got the essence of our defense, defensive line and guys that are big-time players for us. But obviously those defensive ends not being there are huge because, Cam's speed, guys getting on the outside, getting on the edge, it's going to be tough. So as far as what we're going to do to try to slow him down, the biggest thing is we want to turn him into a runner. We want to turn him into a passer, excuse me. We don't want his legs to be the deciding factor in this game. If we can force him to throw the football and make Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore and these guys beat us, we feel confident that we can come out on top. But if his legs become a huge problem and we look up and Cam's got 11 carries for 97 yards, we're probably going to lose the football game. We have to minimize his impact with his legs in order to have a chance in this game.
That actually segues me perfectly into my question here. With Cam Newton and Ron Rivera having so much history together, obviously, Cam's first coach, them spending so long in Carolina together, do you think one has the advantage over the other as far as Cam knowing what Ron's going to think or how he's going to react, and vice versa with Ron? Do you think Ron has, because he's played with him so long, can have something in the like a special playbook set up for Cam, or when I see this, I know what's going to happen?
Like you said, the file. Who's got the advantage here?
I personally think the advantage goes to the coach, because you've been coaching the player, you know his strengths, you know
a new player on a new team,
right? And a new coordinator. It's not all the same, but you know his tendencies, you know what he likes to do. Like there's certain instances, Cam likes to go here when he wants to do this, or Cam wants to, when he gets to this side, you got to look like he can give them little pointers and inside details. Like, hey, when Cam gets out to the right and you see him hop up, he's about to throw it. You know what I mean? Like there's little things that he can tell his players, you need to watch out for this, because this guy's made a living doing this. And he'll have clips and he'll have a whole bunch of things he'll show them over and over again. Hey, this is what we have to be prepared for. Mm-hmm. So I look at it like this. And you know, when you get back, because there's so many storylines. Heineke coming back to Carolina.
I know. Scott Turner coming back.
And Ron Rivera
coming back.
So many storylines here. But the thing that I think gives us, and not necessarily, because I honestly think that as a collective roster, your team is better than our team right now. But that said, I think that, one, we're the more desperate team. Okay. You're already at 5 wins.
Ooh.
Yeah. We're at 3
I got a question about this. I got a question. Keep going.
We're the more like Tampa Bay showed up and they thought that they were going to walk in and get a dub. They disrespected us by winning the coin toss and choosing to receive. Like, if that doesn't light a fire under you, if they were playing the Packers, they're not going to receive. They're going to defer to the second half. So they thought they were going to walk in there, smack us around early, and we were going to lay down and they were going to walk out of there.
I know. First of all, thank you for making them. Thank you for ruining their day.
Oh, yeah, of course. Anything that I can do to help you, I'm on board. So, except for this week, obviously. So, I think we're a desperate team. We understand our season's on the line pretty much every week.
I know Greg's going to ask. I know Greg's going to ask about the defense, but before we go to that, is Ron Rivera, like you said, there's storylines coming to town. Mm-hmm. Ron Rivera, Taylor Heineke, Scott Turner, Joey Sly. By the way, good luck with that, man.
Hey, look, man.
I mean, there's a lot, and then Cam Newton coming to town.
How you feel about Cam at the quarterback position? We feel about Joey Slide at the kicking position.
I know, uncertainty.
Wait till he
but I think this,
and then he's gonna go on a tear of missed kicks.
There's one other angle. There's one other angle about this storyline, and it's from the David Tepper, Matt Rule side. Is they have something to prove too, right? Not only, and so I guess here is my theory is this, and maybe I'm just too podcasty, I'm too NFL soap opera. Maybe Ron Rivera doesn't care about winning in Bank of America, and is that meaningful to him? No, but I gotta believe this. David Tepper, Matt Rule want to prove that they made the right decisions, right? Tepper, this and that. I think there's a lot of pressure on them to win here. Who do you think? Do you think these guys care about those kind of drama points in their legacy?
I don't think Matt Rule, because he really is like a sidebar on this. Like he's like collateral damage. He's in the middle, so to speak. Tepper does, because Ron feels like he was wronged. Ron will tell anybody that will listen, I was fired unjustly. I had 2 straight years of Cam Newton getting injured. And with him healthy, I won football games. And at one point with Kyle Allen, I won 5 games in a row. Like he felt like he was wrong. So he's got a chip on his shoulder. And Ron will tell anybody all week, and I bet you he's going to do this. And, you know, you talked about the Ron Rivera sayings. One of his sayings in Washington, I can't speak for whether he said this in Carolina or not. What's interesting and what's important, right? And so what's interesting is going to be all the sidebar conversations, all the, you know, Ron returning to Carolina, Ron versus, Cam Newton, and Taylor Heineke returning to where his career started. So there's a lot of storylines, and Joey Slides you mentioned, all these Carolina guys going back to Carolina, and he's going to try to downplay it. And he's going to tell the media that's interesting, What's important is that we're trying to win our second straight ball game. He's going to try to minimize it. Behind closed doors, he's going to tell those players, I want to beat their ass. Okay. I want this one bad. And they're going to go out and they're going to try and go get it for him. I'm telling you, they're going to be on edge because they know how badly their coach wants this one. And if we win, whether we win or lose, but more likely if we win, if you lose, you're not going to hear about it. If we win, you're going to hear them say, Coach wanted this bad. We wanted this for Coach bad. I guarantee you're going to hear that.
Yeah. I understand the passion right there, and I agree that they're definitely going to come in there like that. My real question is, though, with the defense, based on where it was looking like it was at, with Ron Rivera as the defensive coach, the young, new defense you have with the defensive line and the production they've given this year, what kind of explains that? Do you think you have the defense to walk into Bank of America Stadium with a rejuvenized Cam Newton and stop him?
We're playing the best football of the season defensively.
Okay.
So if you would have asked me that question 3 weeks ago, you guys would stomp.
Oh boy, how beating the Bucks? One game against the Bucks changed it all.
No. I just said 3 weeks. I didn't say last week. I said 3 weeks ago. We started playing well against Green Bay on the road at Green Bay. We had a
Denver. You only held 2 teams under 20 though this year. Denver and
right. But see, you gotta go. You didn't watch the games, so you just looking
at
the numbers.
You're right.
So
you're right.
What I'm telling you is, Taylor Heineke
getting better defensively.
Oh yeah, much better. We were terrible early in the season. We were horrible defensively. We were losing games because of this defense early in the season. And the Kansas City first half, we forced 3 turnovers. And the problem was the offense was just anemic, and the defense, they ran out of gas and they gave it up in the second half. If you go back a week before that against the Saints, we forced 2 turnovers in the first half of that game. And again, they gave up a Hail Mary. And one of our biggest Achilles heels is big plays, which your offense isn't a big play machine. You're more of a nickel and dime type
Ron Rivera hates more than anything, bro.
Giving up big plays?
Big plays. Like, oh, man, like I'm telling you this is Ron Rivera. Another thing you're about to hear from Ron Rivera is every game comes down to 2 or 3 plays.
Oh, yeah, we heard that.
And it actually is true, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it sucks when you hear it on the losing side, but it is true.
You don't want to hear it.
You're right. But it is.
Because you can't take away a 65-yard touchdown pass. It happened. You can't say, well, we would have won, but this 64-yard Hail Mary right before halftime. It happened. It shouldn't have, but it did. So the fact that this is the only reason we have confidence right now, not because Taylor Heineke had a great game. He's done that before. He needs consistency. This team needs consistency. We haven't won 2 games in a row all year long. Okay, that's what we're trying to do for the first time this season. We've won games individually as singles. We haven't hit a double yet. So we're trying to do that for the first time this season. But the thing that's different than when we beat the Giants in week 2 or when we beat Atlanta in week 4 is that the defense actually looks like the defense we thought we were getting when the season started. Because they were good against Green Bay, really shut down Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones was a non-factor. We really gave ourselves a chance in the offense. We got in the red zone 5 times and went 0 for 5 with 4 turnovers, 2 on 4th downs and 2 on 1 on a fumble, 1 on an interception. And we had 2 field goals blocked in that game. Like, the defense played well enough for us to win against Green Bay on the road. Then the week before the bye against Denver, we played well enough to win defensively, gave up 17 points in that game, had every opportunity to win. We didn't take advantage. We lost that game, but the defense played well enough again for us to win. We dropped an interception that would have helped us in that game on the opening possession defensively.
That's the last 3-week narrative, right?
And that's what I said.
Last 3 wins.
In last 3 games. And now this game against Tampa, and this was the measuring stick, right? Like, okay, Green Bay, I don't think they're that good on offense, to be honest with you. So, okay, whatever. Denver stinks on offense. Okay, Teddy Bridgewater, you guys know him very well. Teddy 2 gloves, you know him. Okay, so you know what the offense is. It's 3rd and 8. He's throwing a 4-yard pass on 3rd and 8. You know it all too well, right? It's the reason why the Broncos have the 32nd ranked 3rd down offense, because Teddy Bridgewater is their quarterback. So I wasn't overly impressed, but it was trending in the right direction. But okay, Tom Brady and company coming to town. They're fresh off of a bye week. They're mad. They just lost to New Orleans. They're probably going to kick our ass. And we go out there, we fluster Brady, we get him off the spot, we pick him off on the first 2 possessions. Should have had a 3rd on the 3rd possession of the game, or we got a 3 and out in the first possession and then 2 picks thereafter, and should have had a 3rd on the 4th possession. And we really limited them in that game. And honestly, if not for a fumble by one of our rookie wide receivers, it maybe isn't even as close as it ultimately turned out to be. But, the defense was outstanding in that game. And now that has us believing that we can go into Carolina and win next week. Will it happen? I don't know, because we haven't done it this season. We haven't won 2 in a row. But I can tell you this, we're a much better road team than we are a home team.
Yeah, listen, I echo a lot of what you're saying about playing your best football later in the season. It feels like we're both on an upward trajectory. But real quick, before we go forward, I know this is kind of weird. It's a little bit awkward, but our chat room is full of freaks. Okay, there are a bunch of freak shows in the chat room, and they have a very certain fetish, dude, and they like to be shamed. Yeah, I know it's really weird, but it's a whole thing. So pardon me 1 minute while I bring my partner in here to do his job.
Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the C3 Panthers podcast on the week where we're going to be heading in to face the Washington Redskins. We're going to be our Washington football team. You guys cut me off. I'm canceled. Anyway, you have 250 people in here, only 100 and so likes. We have Cam. Ron Rivera's coming home. Marty Herney. Hit that like. Subscriber shame.
Subscriber shame. 267 viewers strong. 123 thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. It's free. Hit the like, man. Hit the subscribe. C3 is always putting out new content, and there's never been a better time to be a Panther fan. So please hit the like and subscribe. And hey, hit a like for our guest tonight, man. Louie Tee coming in, bringing the fire, telling us about the Washington football team, man. We're having a great interview, so hit those thumbs up for your boys one time. Tony,
you know what?
Yeah, go ahead, Logan.
Why do we have to beg for likes, guys? Come on.
That's right,
I feel the same way. Like, come on, man. And we know you support. You're here. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. Hit the like button. I know some of you just forget. Hit the like button.
That's right.
Hit the like
so
button.
we just shame them a little bit.
Yeah,
so that way, that way they know what time it is, and then we can keep it moving,
That's right.
I think also, too, that so many people are watching on YouTube they want to see our beautiful faces so big, they turn their phones to the landscape mode.
Don't see that. Yeah.
You got to switch it to the portrait and hit the thumb. If the thumb ain't blue, then you ain't cool.
You ain't do what you were supposed to do if the thumb
ain't
right.
You're right. You know what? We ain't, but that's why we shame them. We don't beg, we shame them.
There you go.
Louie, like I said, you've been on the streets, man. We've been on these YouTube streets, and I appreciate, first of all, you coming on and giving us your time tonight.
No problem.
And I know sometimes, first of all, you're like one of the busiest mans on the internet, so it's nice to have you here. What should we be thinking about? Because so many times when we prepare these interviews, when we prepare these discussions, we're just looking at from our side. What should we be asking you right now? What should we be asking as Panther fans about this matchup?
Well, honestly, I mean, I know a lot of the focus because you're excited about Cam being back and pulling off his helmet and yelling, "I'm back." And part of me was like, that was pretty dope. The other part was like, that was selfish as hell. Like, if it's 28-7, you can do that. It's the first touchdown of the game, and you getting a 15.
Dude, he had just been blackballed from the league.
I get it, but
we've been down bad.
The penalty was on the kickoff.
It was on the kickoff, and he got a good return out to the 35. Like, don't give them any life. Keep them down while you got them. But anyway, I digress. I know that the narrative is on Cam, but your defense is good. Like, it's really effing good. Like I don't care about Cam. I'm not concerned about your offense. I'm concerned that your defense is going to destroy Taylor Heineke. That's what I'm more worried about. Your pass rush, when it's on, it's ferocious. And when Hassan Reddick has it going, and he forced a fumble on the first possession last week against Arizona, and Brian Burns is coming off the edge, and he's got it going. And I mean, I don't know about you, but before he got injured, and even since he's gotten back, what's your linebacker's name that came from UW?
Thompson.
Shaq
Yeah.
Thompson is playing out of his mind. Okay, like this dude is balling. He's catching one-handed picks and all kinds of nonsense. I'm like,
he ain't wrong, folks. He
what
ain't
is
wrong.
going on with this dude? It's like he just kind of had Luke Kuechly's soul just injected into his body or something. Like,
yeah.
he's
Cody, you start. Tell him about his defense.
Hey man, this defense, right? This defense is surprising even to us, man. I mean, we're real. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? And so I Matt Rule's one of his things are he likes athletes. You know, he wants a team full of fast guys.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing that he wanted to do. Every time he goes to a program, whether it's Temple, Baylor, now Carolina, and I said when he got the job, he's going to turn this thing around in 2 to 3 years because that's what he does. He's got a track record. Now, NFL's a little bit different, but he needs a quarterback. And I think that's why he's struggling right now. And I looked at his roster, and the one thing he was trying to do was just get faster everywhere, especially in the secondary. So you draft Jeremy Chin, and then I was shocked that you got to trade for CJ Henderson. I don't know what he's doing for you guys. Nothing. Okay, I figured as much because I haven't heard anything from him. And when I watch the games, I don't even see him. But, traded for him. You went and got Stephon Gilmore, and obviously J.C. Horn got injured. That sucks. Is he coming back this year, by the way?
Possibly.
Yeah, we are hopeful that we are going to get him back sometime later into this season.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we make the playoffs, very possible.
Possible.
Yes.
Okay. So I looked at that secondary, and when Gilmore came back,
and Dante Jackson, little fast-ass Dante Jackson running around.
Dante Jackson on the opposite side. He had a pick against Arizona. He's a really good corner. Mm-hmm. And so you put Stephon Gilmore opposite of him. That's when you guys had this resurgence defensively. Like you were struggling there for a 5-week stretch when you had lost 5 in a row. And the defense, like Minnesota shredded you, right? Took you to overtime, beat you, and you were struggling defensively. Gilmore comes back, and now it's like everything. And then Shaq Thompson came back from injury. Both of them, I think, came back in that Atlanta game, if I'm not mistaken. And both of them got a pick in that game too. And it's like you've taken off since then. And this defense is scary because you got a lockdown corner on one side, you got another corner that's really good. Then you got a linebacker that's playing out of his mind. You got a pass rush that can get after the quarterback. Jeremy Chin is a stud. And so all of these pieces on this defense worry me because we've got a quarterback that I love. I love Taylor Heineke. I don't love him as a starter. I think he's a high-quality NFL backup quarterback. But
you root for him. Who wouldn't root for him? You know what I'm saying?
I'm an ODU alum. I'm a Monarch. So
yeah, why wouldn't you root for the guy that's taking the chances, that was sleeping on his sister's couch at one point? I mean, it's like, it is a storyline that you want to succeed.
Wait, toe for toe with Tom Brady, man.
Yeah, and so I love Taylor Heineke, but Taylor Heineke is the ultimate risk taker. He thinks he's Brett Favre, but without the arm. You know what I'm saying? So he thinks he can zing it in there. He thinks he can throw it here and throw it there. And he should have been picked off last week against Tampa. Went right through one of the defenders' hands, right into the hands of one of our receivers. That's when you know you're going to win the game. When stuff like that happens, okay, it's our day, And so I'm scared that, he's going to think he can fit one into a window, not see a backside defender, and swoop, somebody swoops in, picks it off. I'm scared he's going to hold on because he's got this tendency to hold on to it too long. Like, get out, bro. You got wheels. Use them. And there's this tendency to want to hang in the pocket, and he doesn't see Brian Burns looping back around the pocket, and boom, ball comes out. Like, these are the things he's a small guy, 6 feet, right? And the ball gets batted in the air at the line of scrimmage and picked off. He's had 2 of those this year where a lineman jumps in the air and just snatches it out of the air. So you worry about those things, you know what I mean? But to me, if you're talking about Washington and what you should be concerned about is, one, the defense is playing better. And again, I don't know, because nobody knows what Cam Newton's going to do. You know what I'm saying? We know what Cam's about and what his game looks like, but this is a different offense and he's got different weapons around him. We've never had a Christian McCaffrey problem. We've always done a really good job of limiting him. He's still coming back, and you're kind of keeping him on a bit of a pitch count. I hope we get that same.
You better 80%. Watch out, man.
I hope we get the 80% treatment that the Cardinals were getting. I want my Chuba Hubbard, please.
So you can take whole milk.
Don't sleep on.
You can take your You can
I'm
take
not
our
sleeping
whole
on.
milk CMC versus your skim chocolate milk in Antonio Gibson.
Hey, I'm willing to take that risk. Okay, I'm willing to take that risk. I'm more concerned with the defense, but offensively, we don't know. So we've been so banged up this season, right? So we're getting guys back now, and we just got like half of our offense back. We got our guard, our All-Pro guard, Brandon Sheriff, back last week. We got our rookie wide receiver back. He didn't play a lot though, so we expect him to play a little bit more. And De'Ami Brown back this week. Sam Cosmi, our starting right tackle, did not play last week, but he was eligible. He was active. He just didn't play. So we think he'll be back this week. Our tight end, Logan Thomas, has been out since week 4. We think he might be back this week. We're not sure because we thought he could be back last week. The Curtis Samuel watch, never, ever trust a man with 2 first names, is still ongoing. Okay, so we at this point, I just want to put him on IR and just try again next year. That's what I want to do. But Ron is like, we just got to see. We just got to see. We got to listen to the doctors. We got to see. Like, dude, he's not coming back. Okay.
Speaking of your doctors, I can't wait to hear about this.
Lord.
I am so interested in this storyline. And I've been Googling it for weeks. I've been trying to follow it. But Ryan Vermeil, who Ron Rivera has been with Ron Rivera for the beginning, ultimately is like rated by the feds. And from what I have read is that it was about prescription drugs without labels, particularly. So then, I mean, I know people are going to play it off like, oh, I gave him a bottle, but then it wasn't in the bottle and stuff like this. But look, there have been real questions about, and some of the people actually, I'm going back to Cam and the Washington football team, is some people have said, why would Cam go there when they mismanaged his injuries for years? And there are questions about Ryan Vermeil as a doctor and his wisdom, and Ron Rivera gives him the ultimate trust. And then you get the feds going in. That's crazy. When are we going to get, do you got the water slide story for Ryan Vermeil by any chance?
No, so we don't have the Ryan Vermillion story yet. Like, Ron's been tight-lipped on that. Nothing's come out. He's been put on administrative leave.
Wild, bro.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, we're all screaming free Ryan Vermillion. Like, we're gonna start a hashtag, because ever since he was put on administrative leave in week 4, we have been the most injured team in the league.
Bring back the steroids.
Look, whatever you were doing before you left, bro, I don't know what you were doing, but we have fallen
for Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel must have slept with his daughter.
I don't know what was going on prior. Like, we were one of the healthiest teams in the league the first 3 weeks. Our injury report, so to give you some background, our training facility, our training staff was the worst. Like, remember the Trent Williams situation, cancer and misdiagnosis?
Yeah. I mean, dude had a growth on his head, and they're like, "You're good, bro.
Yeah, you're all right. Don't worry about it." And so ours was the worst. So when Ron came in and brought Ryan Vermillion and got rid of all those guys, it felt like a breath of fresh air. And we didn't obviously know what was going on in Carolina with mismanagement of Cam and all of that stuff, but we just knew it can't get any worse than what we had, right?
Well, actually, that's a fan perspective, so we don't know if that's really true.
Right.
Is that, but we do believe this is that, and just and I don't want to throw terminology out there and not back it up, right? So let me just expound on what I meant by that. So Cam gets his original injury was his shoulder injury, I believe. Was it the shoulder, the first thing or is the ankle? It might have been the ankle injury he had originally, and they let it slide, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to try to rehab." His very first surgery, and I think Cam is a little scared of the knife, or was in the beginning, particularly, and I understand it from a player who's never had surgery.
Right.
Like, you are Superman until you're not. They tried to rehab that original injury. It might have been his ankle. I think it was his ankle, and they had and then it was like this. It was like you could have had the surgery right when the season ended. And then you waited 2 months, and then you try to do it, and then you try to bring him back. And it was just like this prolonged thing. And then the same thing kind of happened with his shoulder. So we don't know if it was Cam and being scared of knife or a little bit of this and that. But it did truly feel like this is that they never got the Cam Newton injuries right.
You know what?
Like they never got them perfect. Is like they ended up needing surgery. They could have been rehabbed. They made the guess and it didn't work out.
You know what that reminds me of? I don't know if you guys, I'm pretty sure you have because you guys are diehards. But I watched the Carolina Panthers all or nothing. And that was the year that he was banged up the whole year. He would come in, arm would be in like a sling and, all of that stuff that year. You guys,
he had the ice pack like damn Ben Roethlisberger wears like on Tuesday.
Exactly. And
we had Taylor Heineken coming in at the end of games to throw Hail Mary passes when Cam Newton couldn't.
Right. I remember watching that year and thinking, damn, like what's going on with this dude, and maybe that kind of speaks to what you're referring to there. Because I remember that was the year that he really didn't practice until like Fridays, We
just never got it right. You know what I'm saying? Like when he ended up needing surgery, like if you would have guessed you should have gotten surgery originally, they tried to rehab it. Mm-hmm. If you needed, like they just always missed it by a couple of weeks. And so at the end of the day, you ended up coming back to this is like for us, we had to continue to question a little bit about the wisdom of the medical staff. Mm-hmm. But Ron loves some Ryan Vermillion. He is ride or die with this. And to the fact that he will cite this is that he entrusted him with his cancer treatments or advice, not with the cancer treatments themselves, but advice on how to proceed and things like that.
Yeah, no, he that's his guy. Like Ryan Vermillion is A1 from day one. And to your point too, just to piggyback off of that, sometimes it is the player though, because the Saints told Michael Thomas, bro, you need surgery. And he waited, and then he got surgery literally like a month before the season started, and he was gonna miss the first 2 months of the season. And now he's out for the whole season, and they're thinking, dude, you screwed us. We told you to get surgery when the season was over last year, and you didn't.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's the players. Like you said, Cam could have been a little skittish there too. So you never know.
Yeah. I wanted to turn our attention real quick to one last time, Christian McCaffrey, because that's a guy who's back in our offense, and we're hoping that he can stay healthy and continue to be the player that we know that he is, man. When he's out there, he's a game changer.
Right.
Last week the Arizona Cardinals tried to put Isaiah Simmons on Christian McCaffrey, and it just did not turn out well for the Cardinals, man. So my question is, we've been talking about Cam Newton, but what's your answer for CMC, man? Now that Derrick Henry is out this season, man, I think Christian McCaffrey is the
Chase
true
Young.
RB1.
I got you.
I'm talking about Derrick Henry going out. I'm talking about Christian being the top dog at running back in the NFL, man. What's your answer for McCaffrey going to be?
We really don't have one, to be honest with you. I mean, again, much like with Cam, it's a group effort. And, every now and again, he'll probably get one-on-one, which is scary because no one can cover him one-on-one out of the backfield. And I saw the Cardinals, trying to do that. And it's not smart. When you have a guy like him, you have to in and out him, one defender inside, one defender outside. And anytime he gets one-on-one, you have to go to him. And we don't have any linebackers that can cover him. We've got fast linebackers that can run, but there's running and then there's stopping, cutting, and then, not getting broken off by Christian McCaffrey. And he's just a hard dude to stay with. So we're going to do our best, but when I said earlier, and let me make sure I make my stance abundantly clear. I'm not saying I'm not concerned with Christian McCaffrey. We've had success against him in the past. And we've seen him with Cam before. They've been on the same team before. We've defended them with those two on the field and had success. So I'm hoping we can continue that. But again, you have a different team. We have a different team. Got a different guy calling the defense. It's going to be hard to contain him. But my biggest fear is that you overcompensate for Cam and Christian McCaffrey, and you let a guy like DJ Moore or Robbie Anderson get behind you, and you get, because your offense hasn't been a big play offense this year. I don't want it to be one this week. If you earn it, if you go on a 12-play, 78-yard drive and eat up 6 minutes of the clock, so be it. You got us. I tip my cap to you. But I don't want a 2-play, 78-yard drive capped off by a 73-yard touchdown strike. I want you guys to earn everything you get.
Robbie Anderson wants that. Good
I know
God,
he does.
he's
He
been
hasn't
dying
had
for
one of
that.
those probably since like week
Since
4.
he was in New York.
he had one earlier this season, but there have been few and far between. And I'd like to keep it that way this week. He can do whatever the hell he wants after this game, but this week we need to keep it the way that it's been.
Yeah. I got one more question for you, and just about Carolina and Washington overall. So, based on where the teams are at right now, based on what happened last week, you guys beat kind of a juggernaut. We beat kind of a juggernaut. Do you think that Carolina beating Arizona was a bigger win for the team going forward than Washington beating Tampa Bay? Or do you think Washington-Tampa Bay was a bigger win?
Oh, no, I don't. So, not to diminish what you did, but it was Colt McCoy. You know what I'm saying? It's Colt McCoy.
Right. Okay.
So,
you get that?
No
anybody,
DeAndre Hopkins either.
No Hopkins, but even if they didn't
Fair
have
argument,
him and they had Kyler Murray, they would have had a chance. With
Sure.
with no Kyler Murray and Colt McCoy at quarterback, you saw blood in the water. Okay, you were licking your chops. You're like, man, we're gonna tear him a new asshole, and you did exactly that.
Yeah.
And so, I don't diminish what you did, because you still had to go there. This is the same team that went to San Francisco and destroyed.
No, you don't gotta apologize for this. You beat the champs, bro. You guys beat the champs.
No. I'm not gonna apologize. I'm just setting the stage. Trust me, I'm not apologizing. I'm just making sure that people know that that's still a hell of a feat to go to Arizona and do what you did. Not to just beat them. You embarrassed them. I mean, that game wasn't close. You injured Colt McCoy and you beat him up good, and that's what you were supposed to do to him. Because the week before, San Francisco let Colt McCoy go 25 of 28.
And then we heard him. He got hurt, and then they brought in some other dude we ain't never heard of before.
Right. Scheffler, whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
who knows? It was a little multiple syllable name.
Yeah. Right. He's a runner. He can't throw the football. So, our win is in theory bigger. We beat the Super Bowl defending champions. They were relatively healthy. They didn't have Antonio Brown. They didn't have Gronk. They had guys out, but we had guys out. Nobody wants to hear
you made Tom Brady
nobody's
throw
ever
a
fully
temper tantrum.
Exactly.
Well, I just more meant though, is it for the team culture, for the team moving forward?
Oh, it was huge.
This is a bigger Carolina win with Cam Newton coming back, with us looking like a team again, like I said, I'm not disrespecting y'all's win by any means. You guys beat the champs. It's a great team. Like, which do you think for the team's culture moving forward was a bigger win?
I'm about to disrespect it.
It was a big win for both teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it was huge for both teams. But
yeah,
you guys won the week before, right? Like, you snapped the losing streak the week before.
No.
Right?
No. We snapped it and then we lost again. We won, we lost. We're up and down.
We played the Falcons and won, and then we played the Patriots. And
so we won 3.
We
won 3, lost 3.
Yeah, we played the
then
Patriots.
won.
We got rolled up.
Yeah,
it must have been bad. I don't even remember that.
It was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. We snapped the streak.
Final performance with the Carolina.
Oh, that's right. Because I talked about him and him being scared shitless of Bill Belichick.
Yeah, they ushered him to IR. Quick. Look, it's Sam Darnold. Right. He has been erased. You know, like in Back to the Future, where the little picture is being like going away. Sam Darnold has been erased.
Oh man!
I want to say actually I have the follow up on Greg, and I know we're taking all of your time, but we just love talking football. That's our problem.
Yeah. Same here.
Did you really beat the Bucs, or did they beat themselves? And I'm not saying you guys didn't play a good game and capitalize on opportunities, but Tom Brady comes out there and throws 2 picks in the first. And really, I'm kind of starting to think that the Bucs defense is a little suspect.
It is.
That they've
allowed
points all season long on this, and then they made some critical errors down the road, whether it was that holding call late in the third quarter, right? That then put them in a long possession, like a long 3rd and down distance that gave the Washington football defense an opportunity or the advantage. And then on top of that, so did they win? Did you guys win that game? Did they lose that game? And my follow-up question is how did McLaurin survive that hit at the end of the game? He made a great catch. I think it was a third down catch, and this dude got rocked, bro. I was like, how is he gonna get up? Is he okay?
Where's the flag? Where's the flag?
Really? Oh yeah. I mean, they blasted this mug, didn't they?
I was waiting for the flag. What if he didn't catch it? Like,
right. Oh, I mean, I was like shook, bro. When I was watching, I was shook.
He's a tough guy. So yeah, he got up. He was fine. I was shocked because I was worried about him, and but he got up, pounded his chest, let us know he was good, and it was a huge play in the game because
I thought he was dead, bro. I was worried about his life.
Let me tell you something that's funny. So after the game, 3 players all said the same thing. That was the most physical football game they had ever played. Like the Buccaneers were hitting. Like we all know, you guys know firsthand, Devin White is a problem.
Yeah.
God.
So
he's a mean man, bro.
So he was flying around in that game, and everybody was following suit. So they were hitting. But to answer your question, it was a bit of both. More, it was 65% us, 35% them. So, yeah, they made mistakes. They didn't take advantage of opportunities. I talked about the interception that went right through the hands of one of their defenders, and we got the catch. And to talk about what you referenced early in your comment, their defense is terrible. It's not, they might be. Their defense is horrible right now. And here's the thing.
Wow.
Their secondary is so banged up, right? Like they're playing with street guys. They had to go get Dick Sherman because they didn't have any more corners. Like, and then he gets hurt. They're playing with guys like D. Delaney. Who is D. Delaney? You
never heard of him.
Right. That's the point. So they're so banged up in their secondary right now that this is the key. If you can protect up front, if you got issues on the offensive line, they will take advantage. Shaq Barrett will beat your tackle. JPP will beat your tackle. Vita Vea went down in the game. I don't know the significance, but he got carted off. That's never good. Okay. But he is a pocket collapser if I've ever seen one. So if your offensive line isn't good enough to stand up to what they can bring to the table, that's how they usually impact the game defensively. But if you can protect, you can take it to their secondary. We forced the issue. We forced Tom Brady. So I'm going to tell you what we did. Because the key, everybody knows the key. The secret's been out there for decades on Tom Brady. It's easier said than done. But my keys to the game, I do keys to the game every week to victory. The first key for our defense against their offense, I said, if you don't do this key, then the rest of the keys are obsolete. They're insignificant. And that's get Brady off of his spot. The very first third down of the game, which was disrespectful because they accepted and they won the toss and they choose to receive. But I already said that. And so Jonathan Allen, our defensive tackle, he's been our best defensive lineman all season long. He gets to Brady.
Fantastic player, bro.
Decleats him on third down and like 7. Decleats him. And from that point on, Brady was shook. And that's what you have to do to Brady. You got to hit him early. You got to hit him often. We didn't sack him once in the game. Not a single time. But what we did do was we harassed him, and he got rid of that football like that. So it was first read,
throwing
second
at people's
read,
feet. Yeah. He was throwing at people's feet. He was throwing. Yeah, I saw it.
A wreck. And after the game, his coach, the reporter said, "So yeah, it was a rough game for the receivers and Brady." He said, "No. This wasn't on the receivers. This was on Brady." Okay, so that lets you know that he had a rough game. Brady was not sharp. Okay. But we didn't give him anything easy. All year long, we've been giving teams easy completions. We'd be playing zone coverage, and there would be no one within 5 yards in any direction of a receiver on 3rd and 12. We were closing up zones. We were pattern matching. We were doing things that we hadn't done since last season. So defensively, we played well. And we took it to them. And then offensively, the thing that we hadn't done all year long, we did in this game. And bad teams don't do this. So when good teams smell blood in the water, like I'll give you an example, and I've been talking about this. They scored a touchdown out of halftime. We were up 16-6. They scored a touchdown after we go 3 and out. It's 16-13. You have to respond there, right? They got the momentum now. You have to respond there. And even if it's a field goal, you have to score. You can't just give it right back to Brady because he's going to score again. And then they're not looking back. We took the football. We drove. We scored a touchdown. We pushed it back to a 10-point lead. Then I told you our young guy fumbled. We had him right where we wanted him. We got to stop. Brady's on the sideline sulking.
Yeah, you gave it to him in your territory. Wasn't that right on the side? Was that the sideline fumble?
No. That one was overturned. Okay. So that was a rookie tight end. He fumbled, but his elbow was down. So we got that one back. But then our rookie wide receiver fumbled. Dax Milne fumbled right around like the 45. We were driving, about to be at midfield, and then he fumbled. They got it, and 2 plays later, he hits Mike Evans, 40-yard touchdown. And this time, Brady doesn't go and sit down on the bench. He's been sitting on the bench looking at the tab with his cap on, looking mad all game. He goes.
We fucking hate this dude, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do. Everybody does. And he goes immediately to the sidelines, and he starts throwing. He's playing catch because he thinks he's getting the ball back, and he's going to score another touchdown. They're going to take the lead, and they're going to do what they're supposed to do, which is march into Washington and win. It wasn't pretty, but we found a way to win. That's what the narrative was going to be. But instead, we went on a 19-play, 80-yard, 10-minute, and 26-second marathon drive, capped off by 1-yard touchdown on 4th and goal with 31 seconds left. 5 of 6 on 3rd downs, including that Terry McLaurin catch that you just referenced. Okay. And then on the 1 3rd down that we didn't convert, we got it on 4th down on the 4th and 1 touchdown. So, man, that's how you respond to adversity. They cut it to 4. You go down and you put together a drive and you reestablish your lead, your 2-score lead. So we haven't been doing those things this season. We did it in that game. So some of it was them. They weren't their sharpest, but a lot of it was us.
Louie, my final question to you tonight, man. And again, thank you so much for your time, brother. You've been electric, tremendous insight on the football team. I want to know, what is your vote for what the name of the Washington football team is going to be, man? Are y'all going to be the Red Tails? Are y'all going to be the Red Wolves? I've heard the Warriors. What's your favorite? And what are the chances of Dan Snyder actually picking the one you want?
I don't care. That's been my stand. I as long as you don't name us the Washington Tampons, I don't care. They're not going to do that. I'm going to be like, they're not marketing this for me. They're not aiming at guys like me because I'm not going
for
anywhere.
New fans.
They're right. They want the young blood. They want the little kids coming up in the game that don't have a team yet, or maybe rooting for the Ravens right now. They want to swoop them in and they want to reel them in. This isn't for me. So I said, I don't really care what the name is, but
what do you think it should be? What about that?
It's going to be the Red Wolves. It's going to be the Red Wolves because that's what the groundswell is for. That's what the young population wants. That's what the people that are on the fence that I'm not coming back to this team. That's what they want. So
I like the Washington football team because every time I look at it, I always think it says, what the fuck? Like every time I see I'm like, what the fuck, man?
We can't be the Washington football team. But I hate when people call us the football team. Like the announcer the other day. Like, first of all, just call us Washington. You're being spiteful if you call us the
right.
I like that.
Right.
Did it make you not want to buy gear for the last few years?
In my mind, I was leading a charge of not buying any merchandise before we got rid of Bruce Allen. I said, we have to take a stance because this guy has to go.
I know he's the worst in the history of the world, isn't he?
So
man, he is a stain on the NFL, dude.
He's terrible, man. He's the worst. So I mean, look, he just got John Gruden. Like, he's not even in the league anymore, and he's still reaching out from the grave. And pulling people out with him. You know what I'm saying?
It's ridiculous, dude.
We called him in Washington the Prince of Darkness, right? Like, he's still reaching out and touching people, and he's not even in the league anymore.
Prince of Darkness.
So
awesome.
It was the worst. And I'm like, until he's gone, I'm not going to any games. I'm not buying any merch. I'm not supporting anything. I'll root for the team. But the only thing that was going to get him gone was what ultimately happened. We had to bottom out. We had to go 3-13 and have a second pick in the draft. But nobody was going to games. And I was telling them, you can do whatever you want. I'm not going to a single game. And it got bad. It was to the point where, we'd have 40% capacity and 30 of it would be the other team's fans. It was really bad.
Yep.
And I I bought merch this time when we because I look at it, it's gonna be throwback merch in 5 years.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is it going to be valuable or is it going to be
it's
garbage?
gonna be throwback. It's gonna be throwback merch where you're gonna say,
Okay.
man, like 20 years from now, man, you remember for those 2 years we were the Washington football team? Like they're gonna be people that don't even remember that.
You're gonna wear that hat to the party one day.
That's right.
You know, you're gonna wear that hat and they're gonna be like, dang, that shit's fly, bro. How'd you get that?
Exactly. Where'd you get that from? Yeah. So for sure. But I think it's gonna be the Red Wolves. That's what I think it's gonna be.
Okay.
All right,
Cool,
tremendous stuff. Louie Tee, my man. I mean, we go way back on these streets, and you have done so much work, bro. I've been so impressed. Well, first, I mean, it's not impressed. I follow you. I respect what you do.
That's what it is.
You don't gotta impress me.
It's
man.
mutual respect because
You've given me some of the better advice. Look, I've reached out to you at times. I said, man, what do we do? Man, you give me great advice for the channel. Some things man, it's just wonderful. First of all, we love your energy. We love your personality. We love you, bro. And our fans have loved you. What is going on the Louie Tee network right now? Tell us about your steez and how our fans can go and be a part of that.
Oh man, I've had a great relationship with Panther Nation over the years, man. It's been a lot of fun. I've got people telling me right now, oh, Joe Brady is the worst, because I love Joe Brady. I think this isn't a great representation of what he can be. I think he's going to be a head coach in the league, but this whole Sam Darnold thing, I don't really know. It kind of put a little stain on him a bit, but he's like, Matt Rule stinks, Joe Brady stinks. The best thing that has happened to us is our general manager, right? So that's been his thing. And I talk to so many Panthers fans, and it's just different things. And I just love the support I get from Panther Nation, man. But I mean, as you know, on the Louie Tee Network, I'm a massive Washington football team fan, but I cover the entire league. So,
the whole NFL, bro.
Yeah,
he's
like
all
literally
over the league.
Before I came on with you guys, I was doing my podcast. So that's why I was a little tardy. I apologize for that. But I literally just got off of doing one of my podcasts that I do, the Louie Tee Network podcast. And you can get that anywhere you get a podcast. And you can watch it on YouTube live. And I'm live after every primetime game. So Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night. As soon as the game's over, I'm live and we're breaking it down, talking about what happened. And so, you know, I do the draft, you know, break down the draft. And that's how I usually keep up with who Carolina drafted, right? Because I just broke down your draft over the, you know, offseason or whatnot. So, and all your moves that you've made. So, you know, that's how I keep my pulse of what's going on around the league, is by covering every single team. I watch every single game. I just watched your game probably like 4 hours ago, watched all the games because I talk about them on the podcast. So I know what's going on. I totally forgot you guys played the Patriots last week, but that was a forgettable game. Like you said, Donald was awful, and he ended
Welcome
up
to the
injured.
crew.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just amazing this year. And this is the crazy part. And this is why you should be excited. This is why this win has rejuvenated our fan base. Is I've never seen the league this wide open in the last 15 years.
Parity, bro.
Right? 5 teams over 500 in the NFC.
There's no 1-win team. There's no zero loss, or excuse me, there's no 1 loss team, no 0 loss team. Everyone in both conferences has at least 2 losses. And you just look at what's going on at the top of the NFC, right? The Rams are getting ramrodded on a weekly basis. The Packers can barely score any points.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys just got destroyed by the Broncos, who then got destroyed by the Eagles. Now they came back and they scored 43 on the Falcons, but the Falcons stink. And so the Cowboys are unpredictable. You don't know what you're getting from them. The Cardinals just got railroaded by you guys. Now they didn't have Kyler Murray. I don't care. Elite teams don't get destroyed like that in their own building. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking around at the best that the NFC has to offer. I'm saying, and we just beat the Buccaneers, right? So I'm looking around at the best the NFC has to offer, and I'm saying, why not us? And every team that has a team with 3 or more wins should be saying the same thing.
Yep.
If we can beat Tampa, and you know the Broncos can beat Dallas, and the 49ers can destroy the Rams, like anybody can be beaten. And you know how it is. This isn't in the NBA. This isn't Major League Baseball. The best teams win series. In the NFL, it's 1 game. I just got to beat you 1 time. I always say, when you get in, I just want a ticket to the dance. When they shut the door, they lock it, and everybody's inside, it's chaos. Anything goes. And I just want to get in this year. Like last year, I knew that there was only so far we could go. Even if we beat Tampa, we weren't good enough to beat the Rams. We weren't good enough to beat Green Bay. We knew that there was a cap. The year before that, in 19, who was beating San Francisco, right? In the NFC. Who was doing that? Nobody was beating the 49ers. That defense was ridiculous. There's no one stopping you in the NFC this year. Really, in the AFC too. I mean, there's no dominant team. There was the Chiefs. Even if you made it to the Super Bowl, were you really going to beat the Chiefs the last 2 years? And before that, when Brady and the evil empire were reigning terror over the NFL, were you really going to beat the Patriots if you got to the Super Bowl? Now, are you afraid of the Titans? They lost to the Jets. Are you afraid of the Tennessee Titans? Like,
well, now that they don't have Derrick Henry, you're not afraid of them, but you do respect them.
You got to respect them, but you're not afraid of them. In the past, you were afraid of elite teams. You were afraid of the Chiefs.
It's parody. It's so much parody you almost don't even like. I mean, it's awesome, and at the same time, it's like God. It's like a 2-5 team all of a sudden is beating a nobody team or a great team. It's actually very hard to bet on. You know what I'm saying? Like if we were gambling, it's so hard.
It's been really difficult.
If you're a gambler, that's where you're struggling. For me as a fan of the league, I enjoy it because it gets stale when okay, like college football is stale for me for years. Why? Because I know it's Clemson and Alabama at the end.
I know the top four. It gets boring.
It's going to be Ohio State. It's going to be Clemson, Alabama, and then you could pick a team. Notre Dame this year, Oklahoma next year. It doesn't matter. It's still going to be Clemson.
You almost stop watching after week 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that like you just figure it out?
You already know the outcome. This is different. You have to tune in every week because you're going to get a surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise. We just a 2-win team just beat a 7-win team. Surprise. So it's
tremendous. Tremendous stuff. Louie Tee, bro. I'm telling you, again, we've been together, not together, but we've been on these streets together for a minute. Louie Tee's been pounding these streets for a long time. Go check him out on YouTube. And he's everywhere. He's on podcasts. I know this. He's been ahead of the curve since the beginning. You can find him on Twitter. It's on the screen at Louie Tee Network. My man came up with the network before it was even cool to call the. I'm telling you, you are my brother, man. Or at least I look at you like an older brother telling me. And I mean, I follow your lead. You do so much good work. Louie, thank you so much for being generous with your time tonight, man.
I really appreciate you, man. It's always love, man. It's always love, man. It's always been that way, Tones, and it'll always be that way, man. Like I said, we've been going at it now for on the field like almost
9 years. I mean, it's like a decade. It is, and that's a long time on the internet, bro.
And that is like it's like doggy years, man. It's like it's an eternity. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it is.
It's a long time on a platform like this. So, man, I really appreciate the love, and y'all come sub me up, man. I really appreciate y'all.
Man, go check out Louie Tee, man. We're survivors. He's a thriver. Hopefully he's not a thriver this weekend.
Man, I just want to do it one more time, man. Y'all got to
We need to win bad.
Y'all us with Teddy Two Gloves last year. We need this.
Cam Newton knows to watch the football team.
Cam's about to do it for the Panther culture.
Oh, man.
Fantastic stuff, man. That's Louie Tee from the Louie Tee Network, man. I'm telling you, C3's been popping off, guys. We've been growing like crazy. We need y'all's help. Smash the thumbs up button. Call into the show. The number is 252-228-5098. We got the cat calls to go. We just had a great preview for the Washington football team. A deep dive, bro, where we even got into the Ryan Vermillion talk. You can't beat that. Where are you going to get that at?
Louie Tee was a tremendous guest. Hit the thumbs up button. Look, we're 2 hours in. We still got 213 viewers, baby, flexing on them big time. Hit the thumbs up, hit the likes, hit the subscribe. Tony Dunn, I believe it's the time of the show where we listen to Panther Nation and they tell us what they're thinking about this football team, baby. Let's do it, man. Let's hit this
first of all, tell them the number. Actually, I'll tell them the number. The number is 252 228-5098. I have to get the file. Sorry. I'm working on it. Bro. Give me a little cover. I have a second
No,
cover.
hey, you're fine, man. You're fine. Look, that was tremendous insight from Louie Tee. And look, I had to push back on my man a little bit. He was he was on our side for a minute, and then he started talking about Cam Newton as kind of like he was some kind of washed up has been. I'm like, nah, bro, nah, you ain't seen the best of Cameron.
That's how they
Newton,
feel,
bro.
though. That's how the
Hey,
world
let 'em
feels
feel
right
like
now.
I
that.
know,
Let 'em
and that
feel like
that's such a good point, Tony.
Mhm.
So many fans, and not even fans, but there's a lot of non-fans and people that don't know shit about the Panthers, don't know shit about Cam Newton, and they run with these narratives that they hear on ESPN and Fox Sports, but really Cam Newton has an opportunity right now
He
to
does.
disprove
He
a
does.
lot
But
of those narratives.
But to kind of quell this is that there is legitimacy to the idea that he's not Super Cam at this point. While Panther fans want him to be that, he does have to show that to us. These narratives, while they may exist from the non-fans, there is the real narrative, which is other teams didn't pick him up, right? That's the first one. Is because I said that Cam would be the greatest mercenary. That's what I think he is. He's the greatest mercenary. If I was Seattle, bring him in. If I was Dallas dealing with Dak's injury, bring him in. But Cam wanted a little bit more. And then there is another narrative too, is that New England moved on. And I don't believe that that's just them thinking that Cam's washed up, because I really think, and I truly believe, that Bill Belichick respects and likes and thinks that Cam's a good player.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
think
do too.
it's about the aura of Cam at that point. But just because we're so hyped, those narratives do exist. So let's not just kind of wash them away. Cam is going to have to wash them away. It's time for him to be back, to absolve that, to baptize. It's baptism time, Cam. And this week against your former coach Ron Rivera at home, I mean, you could start the run. You got to start the run, and you start it with a W. Let's change the narrative. The number is 252-228-5098. Let's see what the fans have to say, Cody.
Let's do it.
And how did that make you feel?
Very
uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like
Turn it up. Got it. Cover me for a half second.
Yep.
What's going on, C3 Nation? It's your boy Jay Anderson hitting you up.
What up, Jay?
Last week I said I have no emotions for this team. Well, I'm back. I have all my emotions for this team now just because of Cam Newton is there.
Let's go, Jay.
Cam Newton is back with the team and my emotions is back. Now, I'm still mellow about the whole season. I want to see how things work. I want to see if Cam get in with the playbook. Of course, he got to get well with his teammates and stuff like that. I just hope he does good. I hope, the offensive line do his job. I hope Joe Brady can get real comfortable and with the plays and stuff like that, because he got a huge weapons. This is the best quarterback Joe Brady ever whoever called plays for. I mean,
yes.
Granted, he was a passing coordinator at LSU, but out of Teddy and Sam Darnold and PJ, this is the best. He has the ultimate weapon, and he can use Cam Newton in multiple ways and stuff like that. You can use him in multiple ways, Granted, you like to see Cam Newton, once he get well with the playbook, I know everybody's talking about, should he start? I think you can go with the same routine that you did with Arizona, but I will have Cam Newton start, first snaps or first series and then put PJ in, and still maneuver him, get him comfortable and stuff like that. I think, in due time, Cam will have to start. It's gonna be a time when the games gets tough, and Cam Newton just have to go all out. But I think can this team be a playoff? We'll see. Is the expectation is high for us. And that's what we wanted. We wanted a good quarterback we can believe in. For this team to take us, for this team to grow and to go some places. And you didn't have that in Sam Darnold, and that just, from the get-go, I already knew he wasn't that guy. Same thing with Teddy Bridgewater. I wanted to draft Justin Fields, and I think if we would have drafted Justin Fields, I would have felt comfortable with the team. But that's all in the past. That's irrelevant. We got Cam Newton back, so it's all good. Keep pounding, bitch!
Keep pounding, bitch. Look, man, Jay, we all echo the same sentiment, man. Like, everyone was getting ready to be at that point in their Panthers season where it's like, all right, these games don't matter anymore. Like, we're going to lose them. They're going to be embarrassing. We're going to be irrelevant. And then in walks Cam Newton, and here we are. I know it's still crazy. Isn't it, CK? It's just like, wow, what a world we live in, man. But Matt Rule has confirmed today that Cam Newton is getting the starts in training camp. They're trying to get him up to speed, so he will be the starter going forward. And again, I think that we want to temper our expectations some, but at the same time, I really don't even – I don't think it's that far-fetched that if you look at what Joe Brady was able to do with Joe Burrow in his final year there, giving him some good passing concepts, I really think that my man Joe Brady could do the same thing for Cam Newton. And we will – I've been saying for a while now, we might see the best Cam Newton that we've ever seen. It might take some time, but I really do believe that it's possible.
The thing is, we really don't need a 2015 Cam Newton right now. We need a 2021 Cam Newton. We need a guy who can go out there and manage the game and make the right plays, and we need a guy who's spectacular. But now he has a team to support him. He has an offensive crew around him. Like, we don't need the guy from 2015 to carry the entire team with us anymore, and I think Cam Newton can be that.
All right, let's go to the next call. The number is 252-228-5098.
Podcast brothers, how y'all doing? G. Cavassier.
My man, G.
Yeah, Washington football team this Sunday, man. I see us winning this game, but I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I really, really don't. If we can contain Heineke or whatever, I think we'll be okay because we know he can scramble just a little bit. He has a decent arm. Because he was with us, if y'all remember, man. And I live in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? He went to Old Dominion University, so he's an old DU alumni. You know what I'm saying? But besides all that, it'd be good to
had an incredible college career.
Ron Rivera and Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? Hug and shake hands and everything. Because Rivera had to leave. When a new regime came through with the Panthers. But I see us winning. And before I let you go, man, that people are damn sleeping on is Keith Taylor, man. Keith Taylor, that damn rookie we got, man. That dude is fucking balling this damn year, man. Look at his daggone stats on Twitter. The people that he had to go against, and look at their damn receiving yards or whatever, man. This dude is a pretty good corner, man. So, y'all have a good one. Keep
pounding.
Keep pounding. Yeah, this football team is in a unique situation where I feel like we're firing on all cylinders at the right time. You know what I mean? Everything is culminating into this moment. And I really do think that we have the potential to see the best of our receivers as well. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. I mean, let them get on rhythm. I think that our entire offense has the potential to be brand new, man, coming up here soon. So let's see what happens, man. I'm pumped. Happy to hear from G in the calls, man.
When it comes to Keith Taylor, what's interesting about this is when was the last time you could say that the Carolina Panthers secondary was a strength on this team? I mean, I don't know if I could go back to ever.
Yeah.
Barely. I mean, Josh Norman was doing it. You had Coleman.
Yeah.
But still, even Coleman, we had that visual of him. You remember when he played for the Eagles and he got blown up and his face was all bleeding? Like he had turnovers.
But we had
that was our best secondary, but they weren't even really good. They were kind of opportunists.
Charles Tillman, was here and he wasn't playing bad. I know it was last year.
Peanut punch, right? But this time I'm starting to feel like this with Gilmore being shut down, Dante Jackson playing his best. Now you got Keith Taylor, who is a ascending rookie. And if JC Horn can come back late in this season, all of a sudden you're talking about this secondary. Oh, and by the way, we got to put Jeremy Chin up in there, because he's like the multi-tool. All of a sudden this thing is like the strength, not just the guys that are playing above their station, but are playing to their station. That's exciting, bro. Mad exciting. Yeah. And Keith Taylor, I continue to say this about him, is that it's easier for him to thrive and more realistic for him to thrive when the rest of the guys around him are strong. Right? You can't put a fourth round pick or something like that who has a high upside, but you can't put him on a bad secondary and ask him to be the dude. But he could be a dude on a really good secondary. And that's what exciting about it is, like you said, Cody, earlier in this podcast, we're kind of getting stronger when it matters. Yeah. When it matters. And Keith Taylor, I think, is a great example of that, coming in. And you know what? Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats right now. He's top 5 in our team in defensive backs and tackles this year.
Who?
Taylor.
Wow. See? Yeah. Stephon Gilmore, man, has made a difference in the 3 games that he has played for the Carolina Panthers. It's hard to quantify the difference he has made. And I was a little suspect that he was going to be able to do that much, but it is apparent, bro. It is apparent. That's why Darrelle Revis used to hold out for all the money in the world. He's like, I'm going to come in here and make your life easy. Stephon Gilmore came in. You know who? Phil Snow is sending him a box of chocolates on Christmas. Phil Snow is sending him a group of hookers on Christmas. Phil Snow is fucking saying, I love Stephon Gilmore more, just as much as anybody. He has made his life easier. The number is 252-228-5098. Let's keep going through with these calls.
Hey, I just wanted this to be a quick call, but my I Stand with Cam shirt came today. Fucking awesome. 100% cotton, dude. It was honestly a lot better than I thought it would be.
Love that shirt.
Disrespect y'all, but just when you buy shirts from YouTubers or like websites, like they usually like kind of a crappy material, but like that was like a soft ass shirt. And
I told you, next level. Awesome. That's what it's called. I don't cheap on them.
Why didn't you get me one? We're going to the game this weekend, but he's real particular about shirts. He doesn't like a low hanging collar. He likes a tighter collar, and he's like, I like that shirt. Why didn't you get me one? I went on the website and they're all sold out. No surprise. It's my fault. I've been hearing you advertise those shirts for years. I've been a bum. I didn't get one for a long time. But I was just curious if you're going to make any more, because I'll definitely get one for my dad. And one real quick thing. I couldn't imagine being a Panthers fan and not getting just a massive sports boner for having Cam Newton back. Like, I can't imagine seeing Cam Newton is back with Carolina, the guy who like loves the Panthers more than anyone I could ever think of. And you're just like, oh, he's this, he's that. He's the greatest fucking person to ever put on a Panthers jersey. And people don't put enough fucking respect on his name. So you know what?
Right.
I hope he blows out the Washington football team by fucking 40. Because I'll tell you what, I don't think his relationship with Ron Rivera is as great as everybody says it is. But all I'm saying is, to all the Cam haters out there, y'all made up your minds a long time ago. So you can sit there and be salty. Because I'm about to get lit on Sunday. It's going to be fucking awesome. But shout out you, Tony. That shirt was fucking fire. It's soft. It's awesome. And I hope you make more so I can get one for my dad. Love the podcast. Shout out.
Man, fantastic call. And I have fantastic news for you. I put in a small order today to the screen printers, and same quality, same thing. I Stand With Cam shirts are coming back.
Yes.
I ordered 12. I ordered 12 today. So if you want one of those 12, I ordered 5 extra large, 5 large, 2 mediums. If you want one of those, DM me, message me, and you send me the money direct like that, or we'll figure out a way to put it on hold. They're coming, and I will order more. But here's the thing, folks. You got to remember, them shirts ain't cheap. Like you said, I learned my lesson, bro. I hate buying a cheap t-shirt. It's the worst. You get a nice t-shirt, you wear it one time, it don't work. It don't work out. I only buy one type of shirt. They're called Next Level, and they're the best, bro. They weather, they're strong, they're comfortable, they fit well. I got a limited amount coming. You can get those. You can get the Put It in the Bank. You can get the C3 Panthers podcast shirt. I've had these, and I'm just not a good salesman. I should have been selling them. The link is in the description. Just go to where it says merch. Go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Just hit the little shop tab. And I don't make hardly anything, bro. I'm telling you, inflation is real in this economy. The t-shirt game is not, it's an expensive one. But here, I stand with Cam. Do you? You should.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the next call.
Hey guys, Chuck from Elizabeth City, aka Carolina Sports Guy. I've been walking around Cloud 9, guys. I tell you what, Cam has got to score a rushing touchdown in this game in Charlotte against the Pigskins. And I hope when he does, he pulls something new out. I hope he pulls a freaking tie out of his daggone jersey and puts it around his neck and throws it on the ground and stomps on it, and then hands it to Ron Rivera. Old googly eye Ron. I still have never gotten over the damn time that Ron tried to make an example of Cam for not wearing a freaking tie on the plane. And how did that work out? Derek Anderson
threw the pick
against Seattle on a Sunday night. Guy's an idiot. But let's hope that we have an owner now and a general manager and a coach with his coaching staff that can learn from mistakes that they've made. Cam Newton, man, I don't know if you've ever made your own orange juice before, but sometimes, man, you got to squeeze a little bit more to get a little bit more juice to get a full glass. We got to squeeze everything we can out of Cam to get every touchdown and every great, memorable play that we can ever get, because the man truly is a player of the ages.
Wonderful call. Let's keep pounding through. The number is 252-228-5098.
What did you see, 3? It's your boy Mike,
AKA
Supreme Leader.
Your boy's getting over a cold. Okay, it's not COVID, but your boy's getting over a cold. Okay, I'm good. I'm gonna be ready for Sunday. Yeah, you heard it. What? My wife said what? What? I'm gonna be ready for Sunday. It's going down
I'm going to have my number 1 jersey on, QB1, and I'm going to be ready. The stadium is going to be lit, okay? Fuck all those football team fans. It's going to be lit up in this bitch because I'm going to be up there all the way at the back of the stadium, up in the 500s, all the way in the motherfucking back, and I'm going to be screaming on my motherfucking ass off for motherfucking Cam Newton, and that's all I got to fucking say. Keep pounding.
like it.
Panther pride
Keep
till I die.
pounding.
Yeah, Locks, if you don't like the profanity, man, tonight might not be the episode for you, brother. Cam Newton causes people's emotions to get all hot and bothered and fiery and spicy.
Can't fucking help
man.
it. What can I say?
Yeah,
You know?
man, can't fucking help it. We
I
love
can't
Cam
fucking help
Newton,
it.
dude. Sorry about it. We can't help it, man.
Next call.
C3, what's good? It's JB54, Justin.
What up, Jay?
Oh,
What's up, Justin?
Cam Newton back. This. How did Cam say it? You couldn't tell a lie better than what's happening. Oh, it feels good. That's the type of that was complimentary football. That was a team win. That was a beautiful display of absolute domination on both sides, on all 3 phases. I wanted to call in and ask you guys, how do y'all, what's your opinion, or what do you think the likelihood is the Panthers could go on a tear and walk the rest of the season? Yeah, just want to call in and ask that. Appreciate you guys' show. Keep on.
Fantastic question. I mean, you all know what I think. Let's get CK and Greg in on this. Do you think the Panthers can go off on a tear here? Can we go and win these next couple games and put together a win streak? What do you think?
Take it, CK.
Yeah, I mean, I think I hate it, but I continue to go back to a couple years ago. Then Tony talks about it. Tony talks about it all the time of when he was over, at Cody's house. And I think it was that the game that Susan Deans had given you tickets for the club seats at maybe a Chargers game. And she had, you were sitting there talking with Cody and having a conversation about how you felt like when Cam Newton's in the game, you feel like there's always a shot, right? And I think that's pretty indicative of where we're at. I mean, I think that right now we have the team that we've never given Cam outside of a good offensive line, right? And I think giving him the opportunity to be able to kind of thrive in a really good situation is something that could lead to us winning out. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But do I see it being possible? Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, CK. I think it's very possible. As a matter of fact, just looking through the schedule and talking about the day with friends at work, I see the Panthers finishing 10-7, and I see us losing 2 games in the end of the season. I see us losing the Bills because they're a solid team, and I just feel like we're going to go down at least one good time to a solid team, and I see us losing to Tampa Bay one time. And honestly, if I can call it right now, we're going to lose to Tampa Bay in the last game of the season, and it's going to be for the NFC South title. And whoever wins that game is the champion. Whoever loses that game is a wild card. That's the way it's going to play out, I think. I think we're going to lose that game. And we're going to win the wild card 10-7. So, yeah, I definitely think we can make a tear.
I just know that a week and a half ago, I did not feel like we could have a winning season.
Right.
So, I'm like running the table a bit much. Right. I mean, that's a long shot for me. Man, a long shot for any team at this point. But here's the thing, because all of a sudden I feel like the Carolina Panthers could have an offense. That's all. That's the thing, was we were missing an offense entirely. So now we can win. Whether we do win is up to our coaching staff, is up to our players' performance, is up to a lot of things. But we have a shot of winning now, guys. We didn't have a shot of winning before. And I tell you this, is the offensive line necessarily isn't better. It may play better going forward, but I told you, we had no chance. We had zero chance of winning games before with the quarterback situation and how that affected the offense. Whether or not Cam Newton revitalizes the Carolina Panthers and sends them on the trajectory of a playoff team, I can't tell you for certain that that's going to happen. I could have told you 10 days ago for certain it wouldn't happen under the circumstances we had.
Right.
So now it's plausible. That's the thing, is like even Joe Brady put up the 1-0 in the Cam Newton font. Like, I mean, there's hope. Like Greg sent us the picture on this world. This, what does it mean? What does the S symbol mean?
In my world, it means hope. Yep.
It's hope. And how about this? Is Cam the greatest genius to stumble into all of this? Right? Like to adopt the Superman symbol from the beginning when he was Superman to now come back. Like I don't know. I feel like Cam Newton is like on to something, bro.
And like we were saying on the Friday night show, he's coming back in the black uniform on his first game back, which is very Superman Returns-esque, you know, like it's
there's something special happening, bro. We're excited. By the way, thanks for y'all support for everything. You can find all the information to the shirts. Look, we got more than just the I Stand With Cam. First of all, we got the C3 Panthers podcast shirt, which is dope as fuck. It's from the beginning. All the same ones. I Stand With Cam. Put it in the bank. If you think we're rolling undefeated, then you need to put it in the bank shirt, which is dope as fuck. Like, put it in Bank of America. Put the Lombardi in there. Get up in there. Help us grow. Help the longest running Panthers podcast extend Panther Nation together by extending the community and the conversation. All you got to do is smash the thumbs up button, tell a friend about the show, and be a part of it. Just be a part of the community. The number is 252-228-5098. Let's go to the next call.
Hey, guys. Joey. And I think I made this call. I called the number Thursday when y'all had that, when y'all went live about Cam Newton, like when he came, but y'all don't have y'all don't have cat calls. And as I figured, you did not play the call I made on the post game. But anyway, I want to say that I think Cam Newton, I mean, obviously, I'm super stoked about Cam Newton coming back. I mean, I was in Asheville this weekend, and it was kind of cold, so I brought out my Panthers toboggan. And, of course, I always wear my Panthers mask everywhere. Kept my ass from getting COVID, so apparently it works. So I was walking down the street, and this dude was like, "Go Panthers!" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." Like, people are super happy about Cam Newton coming back. All along the streets of any city or town in Panther Nation, not just the capital. But I think that three things can happen with Cam. There are three scenarios. Best scenario is that he is vintage Cam Newton and he plays like it. Most likely scenario, in my opinion, is he is a more than adequate quarterback with really good weapons, and of course he's going to be a fucking rock star because he's in Carolina, and he's going to be able to carry this team forward with what he has around him. And the last scenario, which I don't think is likely, but it's kind of not good, is that he is done, but he can retire as a Carolina Panther after this year, which is the one and only place Cam Newton should retire. Anyway, guys, wow.
Thank you, Joe, for the great call as always. Let's keep pounding.
Hey guys, what's up, man? This is Luke from Asheboro. I want to know what you guys think if we make the playoffs. How do we stand up against the rest of the NFC? How we look as far as our defense goes, and how we match up. If we're getting there, hopefully go to the Super Bowl is what our goal. Obviously, I'm hoping is.
Fantastic
Right,
call.
keep on it.
It really is a good call, good question. We talked about this a little bit with Louie Tee and the parody that is striking the NFL. But when we walked into the season, Cody, it felt like Bucks or walk-in shoe-ins. It felt like Kansas City walk-in shoe-in, Rams close, this and that. All these teams feel fallible at this point. And ultimately, I don't know who is the most impressive.
Well, so okay, Tampa Bay is the big baddie because they won the Super Bowl last year, but they seem beatable. Then you have the Green Bay Packers, and yeah, they're playing good football. They have a very good defense right now. They put up a stinker against the Saints to start the season, but Aaron Rodgers, they're always going to be a good football team. And then listen, the Rams to me are fraudulent. They're fraudulent, dude. I've never been a believer.
Well, just
in
like the
Matthew
Chargers
Stafford.
on the other side.
Well, but I mean, even more so, man. Like all the Odell Beckham's over there now. Von Miller's over there now. Dude, they have no identity, man. They're just like, give me every good player the NFL has ever produced in the last 10 years, and we're going to try and turn this into a thing. Meanwhile, Matthew Stafford is who I've always thought he was. Tony, you know how you always have a bone to pick with Phillip Rivers and how he's just a chuck it and fuck it type of player. I'm the same thing with Matthew Stafford, dude. Matthew Stafford is a basic quarterback. You cannot depend on him when the moment is big time. I like us against the Rams. I know they're talented. I know they're loaded. But really, I don't see any team in the NFC right now that the Panthers can't go toe-to-toe with. I really think that we match up well with everyone. Maybe if you want to talk about the Cardinals, if they have Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, but even still, man, I like our defense against almost every offense that I just mentioned to you. So, yeah, I think we stack up fairly well.
Well, look, likely winners of divisions in the NFC: Tampa Bay, Dallas, Green Bay, Rams. Right, like the most likely winners of all their divisions.
Say a little slower.
Tampa Bay, Dallas, Green Bay, Rams. Like more than likely. I think Tampa Bay could falter. I think Dallas has their division hands down. I think Green Bay probably has their division hands down. I think, honestly, LA is probably going to take their division. Even though they just got smashed by San Francisco, I think they're going to take the division.
The Cardinals
problem with LA
are
is,
in that.
Huh?
Right? Am I thinking about? They're in the same.
Yeah,
division,
that's the same
right?
division.
That's what I'm thinking. As I feel like the Rams are suspect now.
Well, the thing is with the Rams is, and they mentioned this on the game last night. It's a great point I wanted to bring up tonight. Is there's a difference between talent building or talent collecting and team building, and the Rams are talent collecting. It takes time for team building. Talent collecting is immediate, but it doesn't always work, and it might not be working for them right now.
Well, talent collecting is what they did, and they got to the Super Bowl that one time, but they lost, right?
Smashed. Yep.
And they've been doing that ever since. If you have a good, system and a good coach like Sean McVay, I think it's talent chasing can be helpful, but it's definitely not going to get you consistency. I mean, some might, argue that point since the Rams have been one of the more successful teams in recent history. But I think personally, like the Cardinals have done a tremendous amount of team building, right? They've, if you look at their top players, a lot of them were drafted. You have Kyler Murray, you have Isaiah Simmons. I mean, obviously, you have free agent pickups, people you've traded for. JJ Watt is one that I even was critical of. I said, everybody was like thinking the Cardinals made this amazing move. And I was like, this was the stupidest move. You overpaid him. Number one, he should never have been compensated that much without having been able to play a full season in almost half a decade. Right. And now we're seeing that continuing to be a situation for him. So I still think that they're the better team. I think they're going to win their division. So I don't think the Rams are, even though that some might consider them the best team in the NFC.
I'm not going to lie. I totally forgot about the Cardinals. Maybe because we just smashed them, but I totally forgot about the Cardinals. You're absolutely right. That's a good point.
Let's go to the next call.
Hey. You know who the fuck it is. Booyaka, 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 booyaka!
Yeah!
What's good, fellas? It's a beautiful motherfucker Tuesday night in the motherfucking Carolinas,
Yes, it
man.
is.
What's good, Cody motherfucking Lack? What's
Let's
good,
go.
T motherfucking Baby?
Y'all
What's good,
made up.
TK, aka Clark Kent? What's good?
Winning
my
solves
motherfucking
everything.
Greg? What's
Yeah.
good, G?
Cam Newton solves everything.
Man, it feels good to be a fucking Carolina Panthers fan right now, man.
Tell them,
Oh
G.
man, this is what I've been just dreaming about, man. Like I still feel like I'm dreaming that we have Cam Newton. Like don't wake me the fuck up. Don't pinch me, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I just feel so good. There's just the energy, man. The energy just feels different, don't it? Ooh, yeah, chitty chitty bang bang baby. The fuck they talking about? I want to talk about Dante fucking Jackson, man. We need to pay this man. I do not want to see this
Hey,
man
Dante.
gone. He's the C. Smith of our defense, man. That dude's a motherfucking dog. Plays bigger than what he really is. Have that motherfucking dog mentality. Just a beautiful center fielder. And I want Dante Jackson to move to fucking free safety, man. Keep Jeremy Chan a fucking strong safety. You got motherfucking Gilly on lock. You got AJ Boye. I'd love to see CJ Henderson in the game. The few plays that he had, that honestly makes me feel really good. You know what I'm saying? And you got JC Hornback. That's Thieves Avenue right there, motherfuckers. I would love to see fucking Dante Jackson back there, man. Always having the chance to get his fucking hands on the ball, man. Just after back, like, dude, the dude just got hops, man. He got bunnies, man. And he comes up and he lays the lick. Like, come on, man. What more could you ask for a defensive player, man? And he's homegrown, man. We drafted that dude, man. So we need to pay Dante fucking Jackson, man. Action Jackson. That I would love. And I also want to talk about Hassan Reddick, man. I knew that dude was going to have a big game going back to Arizona. He needs to get the fucking bag too, man. Like, please. And we need to fucking pay DJ more. If we can get Gilly's gonna have to take that homegrown fucking discount, you know what I'm saying? So I very much think we can keep all these guys together, man. Oh, this defense is nasty, boys. This defense is nasty. In my opinion, this is the best defense in the NFL. If we didn't have Sam Darnold, we'd be ranked number one in all categories, man. That's just how I genuinely feel, man. This defense is nasty. And the way Shaq Thompson's playing, goddamn, man. Tony, you better fucking take all that shit back. You was talking all that yak. But take that shit back, G. Man, it feels great to be a fucking Carolina Panther fan, man. I feel beautiful, man. I feel just elegant, man.
Beautiful, elegant.
Yeah.
And you know what, G baby, you are all those things, man. I don't care if you're cussing me out 1 week, dude. How about this? Cam Newton is both of our quarterbacks, baby. So we're both loving it. But listen, let's turn to what he was talking about in that call. Is there more of an argument now to pay Dante Jackson? Basically, should we try and keep our DB room the same as it is, as deep as it is? CJ Henderson, Stephon Gilmore, JC Henderson. I mean, even AJ Bouye has been playing really well, man. But then, of course, Dante Jackson. Greg, what say you, man?
I say you keep them all except for CJ Henderson, to be honest with you. I've been screaming Dante Jackson since the day he got drafted, man. I've loved this guy from the beginning. I've always thought he was a great defensive player. Pay the man. I agree. Absolutely pay the man. But I feel like you can keep 4 of those 5 for at least a couple of years. And then the bubble is going to burst, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, only everyone can get paid the big dollar amounts, the big bucks. CK, do you think Stephon Gilmore would be willing to take a bit of a hometown discount to stay here and maybe see his teammate Dante Jackson catch a little bit of a pay raise?
I'll tell you one reason why I think it's possible. And it has less to do with his willingness to be here and be with Dante Jackson. It's going to be more to do with the fact that he's at the end of his career. Let's be real about it. How old is he? 34, 35. He's like at that bat. He's older than, Revis was when he retired, if you didn't know that. I remember looking that up because I was very curious. And so, I mean, if he's wanting to try to find a place that's close to home, that's going to be willing, like he seemed to really want to come here.
Who's older than Revis when he retired?
Stephon Gilmore.
No way.
Yeah, dude, look it up. I looked it up the other day, or at least they're the same age.
Wow. I didn't. Man, Revis made more money by the time he was 32 than anybody in the whole history of the world.
Yeah.
Tony, would you pay Dante after this season?
He's produced every year, man.
You know what I would say this is Dante has done everything in his power to deserve being signed like to a legitimate strong deal by a team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that does to the other numbers. It's kind of like this is does it make it an either or for somebody else? You know, does it make it an either or for Reddick? Does it make it an either or for somebody else? But yeah, I would. I think Dante Jackson right now has played his best football that he has ever played in his entire career. I think we've seen him continue to step forward specifically since Ron Rivera left, right? I mean, look, is that even last year with a new coach, new regime, with facing injury, this coaching staff spoke so highly of him, and he played his better football last year. This guy has been tackled. I don't know what he did, but he became a tackling machine now, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You remember Dante Jackson used to be scared to even touch somebody's toes?
He
And
used
now
to
this
whip
mug
a lot.
is just blasting
He used to
blows.
take
He
a
is
lot
just
of. He used to take a lot of bad angles. He, used to
going
not
at
wrap
the
up.
feet, now this
Yeah,
and that.
man.
And this guy is doing it too. And actually, that's what I would say his best part of his game has been this season. Open field tackles,
Yeah.
decisiveness, attacking in like the flat and things like that. So yeah, right now is I don't know what the number means, and I don't know how to assign a specific value to Dante Jackson. But if I was Dante Jackson, I would be in the position that I've done everything I could possibly do to maximize my value this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, it sounds like you were on my side with this, where I definitely would sign him, but I have to ask myself the same question that you posed, and I want to know what your answer would be to it. Like, who would you be willing to give up? Like, if it was between him and Reddick, or him and Chase, or him and Gilmore, let's say those two, would you sign him before either of those two?
No.
Maybe
Here's the
Gilmore.
problem is both of these guys, this is the problem, and poor Dante.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a
this
tough
is like,
position to be
man,
in.
it's not it's like if you came in and you did everything you could to win an interview or a job, he has done it. But at the same time, Stephon Gilmore kind of adds a dynamic that Dante can't. Right? I mean, it just truly does. Is Dante's not going to be able to man up these big ass dudes and do all this just because he has these physical limitations. I do think that Hassan Reddick, I would be cautious, is we might end up paying him $1 bazillion. I told you he's the $1 billion man. So while everybody says the first thing we have to do is sign Hassan Reddick, again, another guy who has played and done every single thing you could and want to do in an audition, right? He's killed the interview. But God, it could break the bank. Could break the bank. But no, I think I would prefer to sign Hassan Reddick and Dante Jackson than I would Gilmore, and bring back and JC Horn. Then we get JC Horn to be the Gilmore, and I want Gilmore, but unless he's ready to play ball for a reasonable contract, and not to pull the Revis who wants the most money, which I don't blame those fools at all. Like I would be on that camp too. So I'm kind of I'm pro Dante and pro Reddick. That's where I'm at right now.
Look, I'm comparing the stats right now, and I got to pull up Gilmore's, but Dante Jackson through 4 seasons has 12 interceptions and 49 games started and 189 tackles, with 150 of them being solo. I want to see what Gilmore's worth through his last 4 years.
The thing is you got to look at past breakups. You got to look at this. And then the other question, which Cody's going to come in here because he's a football guru, is going to tell you this, is that you also don't throw at dudes who are locked down. right?
That's
Like, so
right.
you can't just, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that the fact that they don't get thrown at is part of their strength. While you look up those stats, Stat Daddy, let's go to the next call. 252-228-5098.
You know who the fuck it is? It's G, baby, man, and I'm motherfucking back like cook crack. Call me fucking Joey Crack, motherfuckers. Let's fucking go. Handing out these motherfucking hot cakes, motherfucker. I feel fucking good. Cameron, Jarrell, Newton, baby. I ain't no motherfucking nightmare no more, baby. We got motherfucking QB1, baby. I'm so excited about fucking this upcoming game against the Redskins, man. Ron Rivera coming into town, man. Cam Newton taking the number 1 reps. Ooh, just watch this offense. And you know who I want to give credit to? I got to give a shout out to Michael Jordan, man, the left guard. I love what I'm seeing from Michael Jordan, man. And this is I might get shit for this, but you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Andrew Norwell, man.
Oh,
he got
shit.
that tenacity, man. Like,
That's
I
Ohio
really do like him
State.
standing at 6'7". He can get around the fucking ball. He can move. He's agile. He's got that grit. I feel like he's slept on, man. I'm telling you, Michael Jordan, man. That dude's a problem, man. I like him a lot. That's a gem. I really do like him, man. So I just wanted to give a shout out to him, man, because he was
Undrafted free agent, too.
He's playing his ass off,
Like
man.
Norwell.
But the way he fucking can, hey, I want to give a shout out to Christian McCaffrey, man. I told you, man. He's a generational type back. He makes nothing out of something, man. That dude is
He's special, bro.
Christian McCaffrey
Special.
is motherfucking special. Turning a fucking 2-yard gain into a
We're in
fucking
the same
8-yard
language,
gain
bro.
because he's fucking special. Making the fucking offensive line look better than what they really are. And that's what Cam Newton did. Bro, this fucking offense, dog. With Cam Newton taking control, Cam Newton's not going to turn the ball over like that, man. You see how genuinely happy Cam is, man? You see how Robbie was looking at Cam in that motherfucking press conference, bro? Like, that's love, bro. That's love, man. Building that fucking chemistry, dog. Just some straight hood motherfuckers, man. We need some of that grit, man. Cam Newton's going to bring that to the motherfucking team, man. I am so fucking excited. I feel so fucking good about this, man. I feel good. And that wild card is in our hands, man. We coming for this bitch.
I mean, I'm
man,
starting
you
to think
know what the fuck this
division,
is.
baby.
Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka!
Yeah.
Motherfucking G, baby. I'm fucking at.
G, baby. Thank you, bro. I love the booyaka, booyaka, booyaka. It's the best part. And
He knows you do. That's why he does it.
I know, but AJ Bouye played pretty well too. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys be feeding. They be feeding off of each other. I try to think of who was it? Do you remember that one year what was that slot? We brought this slot corner in, and it might have, I don't think it was the 2015 year. Maybe it was 2017 or something like this. And the guy was kind of just an old hat, like 39 years old. And he made a fucking difference, dude. But he alone would not have been able to do that. It was because the rest of the team around him was vibing. And then he came in and was feeling it. Yeah, I think that's like AJ Bouye by himself ain't awesome. He ain't Booyaka, but together, these guys are Booyaka, Booyaka, Booyaka.
Yeah, and hey man, real quick, I noticed we got some people in the chat room that I've never seen before. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. I literally think we're less than 50 people away.
We're
less than 50 subscribers away from 3,000.
I think we're less than 30.
If you have not
Let's
done
do it.
so, hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell for every single time we put out new content. We're uploading seemingly 5 days a week now. It might not be quite that, but sometimes it feels
Might as well
like
be.
it. We love doing it, man. We're putting out extra content. We got the Friday free for all, the Wednesday beat check.
By the way, tomorrow, Matt Paris, Washington Times beat reporter, homie. That's what we be pulling in. We be pulling in the Washington Times beat reporter for the Washington football team for the beat check tomorrow. And then also we go toe to toe, homie.
Debate my take. Listen, if you've been following that on a weekly basis, I have been whooping Tony's ass on our debate show.
Last week,
that we put
you took me
together.
to the cleaners. Last week, not every week, just last week.
Hey man, look, it's always a good time. Check out me and Tony on Debate My Take. But yeah, man, just hit the like button, hit the subscribe, close to 3,000 subscribers. We're almost there. Help us out.
CK, can you drop the Discord link in the chat?
That's what I was looking for now. I saw somebody say it
People
was expired.
said that it was discontinued. I've been seeing them cats all over it. Let's go to the next call.
Who the fuck it is? It's G, baby, man.
Same one.
What's going on?
What's up? It's Matty Matt here.
Matty Matt.
I got two things to say.
Let's hear it.
One, if there's ever a time to be more confident in our defense, this is the year. Our defense is like a group of venomous snakes. That first strike is always going to be deadly. We saw what Shaq did last week. Dante making loud, audible hits that you could hear, across, camera across the field, picking it up.
If that one doesn't
A whole
work.
bunch of that noise. We got Jeremy Chin. We got Derek Brown. We've got Morgan Fox. We've got Hassan Reddick, who has become a monster since joining Carolina. And then on the other side, we have our offense. And honestly, it's not so much the concern of, guys like Cam or even the O-line. I think the O-line has played better within the last couple weeks. And, they didn't let up a sack last week. I mean, that's huge. That's huge, especially for our offensive line. But what should we be concerned with the rookies? Because they learned their first year in a professional team that their offensive coordinator was Joe Brady and Sam Darnold. And that playbook was kind of iffy, if there was even a playbook at all. So
that's what I've been saying. No playbook with Sam Darnold.
Kind of like reverse the damage so that they are more productive. And how would you incorporate them to a playbook that's more suited around Cam, or even if it's like a dual QB system? So, that they don't come out as busts.
Love this call.
Like next year, next year comes around and they still haven't done anything. Do we declare them as busts? Like, I don't want to do that. I think that there's a lot of potential in our guys. I just, that was a glaring question as to what Cody had said earlier, and I figured I'd follow up with that one. All right, guys, keep pounding.
Fantastic call. Thank you for the support. Cody, I'm going to turn this to you. But look, is that last week, the Carolina Panthers go on the road against a very tough defense in the Arizona Cardinals with a new quarterback in P.J. Walker, replacing Sam Darnold, who got every opportunity that you could ever expect. The addition of Cam Newton in the goal line package did create some mismatches, some differences. But I would argue, even without Cam Newton, that this playbook looked more suited to the talent that was on the field, to what he had in the pocket. And I would say that I'm giving kudos to Joe Brady for opening it up. And I also don't think he just opened it up to open it up, but that he could open it up.
I mean, listen, his ability to open it up, I know everybody wants to call that into question. But listen, I also think a lot of it comes down to execution. And look, man, listen, either I'm right or I'm wrong. I know CK's been on really harsh on Joe Brady, and I've been kind of more the pro Joe Brady type of guy. But there's no more excuses now, man. I mean, listen.
But what your point has been, Cody, is that as we've been saying, you got to do this and that. You have said personnel was the problem, right? I mean, that was your mantra. And then all of a sudden you put in a new quarterback. And I'm talking about P.J. Walker. I'm not talking about just Cam Newton. I'm talking about bringing back Christian McCaffrey as well, a full-on healthy Christian McCaffrey. At least they played him like that. And then adding the spice, the flavor, the swag of Cam Newton. All of a sudden, it's kind of like both things are happening right now, where the personnel is improving and changing, and Joe Brady is opening or he's changing with those spicier ingredients. He's like a chef that got better, like he was working with these leftovers.
Ingredients got better, man. He went to the Whole Foods market, got him some fresh food, tremendous ingredients to work with.
The chop challenge got easier, bro.
Now he's going to make the dish that we've all been waiting to taste from Joe Brady, man. Listen, I know people have been underwhelmed to this point, but there have been a lot of yards left on the football field by receivers, by quarterbacks. And listen, I said at the start of this year, Tony Dunn, it was a prove it year. Everyone had something to prove. Well, you know what? Now that Cam Newton's on the team, that extends to him as well, man. Everyone has to go about proving and owning their own worth. And the Panthers have to do that right now. And Joe Brady has to do that right now and put the types of plays that are going to make sure that Cam Newton will be successful in our offense, which, again, I don't think is a huge change. But Joe Brady has to prove that he is the guy that we paid him to be, man. And right now he has all the pieces and players to be able to do it.
Cody, you are right and wrong in your statement here. Okay, because, and I'll tell you where it is I said 3 weeks ago on this show that I think with the team that we have, even with the offensive line as bad as it is, if we had a quarterback that was suitable, that we would be a competitive team. Everybody laughed at me. Now we have a quarterback that's competitive and everybody's thinking that we're a good team, which is cool. But it wasn't the ingredients we needed to change. It was the ingredient. One, Cam Newton. That's all it changed. Cam Newton. He's the MSG. You just throw him on it. It's good. Everybody wants more. Cam Newton is MSG. You know?
Yeah. Hey, by the way, MSG is delicious. And
I know. I asked
and
Uncle Roger.
It does get a bad rap, too. Like, some people said that it gives you cancer or some bullshit. That's not even true.
Splenda's awesome, too. Next call.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me. It's D, man, from SC. Listen,
What's
man,
up,
I just
D?
want to chime in on what you guys had going on tonight. To piggyback on what the first caller was saying, man, I think that the Panthers are trending in the right direction. The reason being is because bringing back Cam was because we were losing. You know, that's the reason why we brought him back. Well, bringing him back, you know, a lot of naysayers are going to doubt Cam, this, that, and the third, or some are expecting him to be this reminiscence of the 2015 Cam Newton. But the X factor to bringing Cam back is our offensive coordinator and Joe Brady. And the reason being is because our previous offensive coordinators we've had have been minute or mediocre at best, very conservative when dealing with Cam Newton. With this new offensive coordinator and Joe Brady, what he presents is, aggressiveness. If you look at his offense and what he had back with LSU, which won him the championship, Cam Newton kind of came from that same type of caliber offense in Auburn, which won him the championship that year. So when you have the offensive coordinator who Cam Newton is older than, by the way, you have those two minds come together, man, it's nothing but fireworks, man. So I just wanted to elaborate on that, man. Keep pounding, go Panthers, and guys keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Keep pounding.
Did he just say that Cam Newton's older than Joe Brady?
It's true.
By a year, I
That's
think.
crazy to me.
It's true. Which I think might bring a little pressure off of Joe Brady, to be honest. Because I've talked about his experience and this and that. And maybe Cam becomes a sort of stabilizing component.
Yeah, almost like a partnership. I mean, I remember they were talking about when Matthew Stafford went to Los Angeles and, Sean McVay, that's their head coach. And
Frozen Cody. Wow.
It's happened like 3 times to me, but y'all kept going, so I wasn't sure if it was me or y'all, but apparently this one wasn't me, at least.
Look, it's and his internet's usually better than everybody's. While he's returning, let's go ahead. I'm going to give the shout outs for everybody. As first, thank you all for the support. I cannot believe how many people in this chat room give their time, their energy, their support to the C3 Panthers podcast. And when I say I can't believe, that y'all do it. I can't believe there ain't more of y'all doing it. No, I'm just kidding. Come on, man. Like, I mean, it's exciting. Like when we are building this community together and building these friendships, it's fun to me. It's fun to check my Twitter mentions, and they're always popping. And it's just these honest conversations that we're having with each other each and every week. Tuesday night, the C3 Panthers podcast, 9 p.m. live, bringing you the guests. Beat check on Wednesdays. Debate my take. We've got the Madden simulations. We got the Friday free for all. We got a lot of stuff going on. Let's go ahead and turn our attention just quickly to the picks while Cody. I'm sure Cody's circling back here. But the Washington football team is visiting the Carolina Panthers -3.5. The Panthers are 3.5 point favorites. I would not be surprised if that number trends up because of Panther fans being so excited about this. That they bet this number. So I wouldn't be surprised if that turns to 4, 4.5. Let's go to this. Washington, go around the horn. He's back. My man, don't worry. We've been puffing you up while you're gone.
I don't know what happened, dude. All of a sudden everybody started.
It's the internet. And you usually have the best internet. So we can go to your house and always take care of it. It's all right.
I pay enough for it. I better have the best internet.
I know. I pay like, if you knew how much I pay. Actually, you know what? Shame on these people. Shame on the internet is so important to our lives. I would pay anything at this point. You know what I'm saying? It would.
Yeah, and it's they'll
like that's a. Yeah, I agree. Who you got this week, Cody? Panthers are 3.5 point favorites. I think this number turns to 4. Even 4.5 by Sunday, because I think people are going to be betting the Panthers here. And I'm going to leapfrog you. I'm going to pass the mic, and I tell you, I think the Panthers win this by 3.5. The over/under was 43, which sounds like a low number, right? Like when you think about a 43-point game for two teams, but I actually don't. My score for this game, 27-13 Panthers, which still comes to the under. Panthers cover here. That's what I think. What do you think? Panthers, I know it's exciting, but give us your honest pick. Who wins? Washington football team, Ron Rivera coming home to Bank of America to face Super Cam coming home too.
Yeah, he is. And listen, I'm picking my Panthers, and I think we're gonna cover. I think that home field advantage is going to be big time for us. Bank of America Stadium is going to be rocking in a way that it hasn't in a long time. Tony, this is one of the first times in a while where I'm just absolutely on a level 10 pumped to watch the Panthers and what they're going to do. Cam Newton's back under center, so I'm believing big time again. Yeah, man, I'm taking the Panthers. I have no reason not to.
CK?
Yeah, Panthers all the way. I think it's I'm not going to jinx it. I think that we win convincingly, but I think there's also going to be a lot of things that are going to be a bit sloppy. So
over under. I think that over under is a tough thing to pick here. 43. So that would mean if it was even, it would be a 23-20 game.
So they're giving it 3.5 right now.
Yep.
Well, for the Panthers,
3.5.
See, the thing
so
is,
the Panthers got to win by a touchdown, basically, and I just think 43 is kind of high for two teams that have
good defense,
questionable offenses, and are defensive oriented.
Yeah,
but then everybody could just pop off.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, well, you got to think about what happened last week, even with the two defenses that are supposed to be good with the Tampa Bay Bucks, and the Washington Redskins. That was their Washington football team. That was what, 48 points, 29-19.
Yeah, and that is not 48. That's 38. No,
38. 29-19.
No, it's 48. No, it's 48.
I had it right. And then you think,
all right,
about
who
the
wins
Panthers.
it, Greg?
I'm going to take the Panthers to cover, and I'm taking the under. So it's going to be Panthers 24.
That's what I like.
Panthers 24, Redskins, or excuse me, Washington football team. I'll say 13.
Missed field goal.
13.
Missed
yeah,
field goal by Joey Sly.
Yeah, there you go. And I forgot the last point I was going to make about it. But yeah, Panthers.
All right. So next, and we'll keep the mic with you, Greg, is the Pats head to the Falcons. They are 7-point road favorites, which is awesome. It's like they're going to Atlanta. They're favorites by 7. You don't have to pick it against the spread. Pats at Falcons, riding high right now. How they do against Matt Ryan and our division rivals. Do we actually, I guess we have to kind of cheer for the Pats this week.
We've got to cheer for the Pats.
Like bury the Falcons.
We
need to cheer for them and the Giants.
Yeah, we do. And as much as I don't want the Falcons to win, I'm not going to lie, man. I think this is kind of a trap game for the Pats, and I think the Falcons might take this one. Their Falcons are better at home, and the Falcons are the cryptocurrency of the football team.
Matt Ryan is greater than Sam Darnold, but the problem is the rest of the team is not greater than the Panthers.
Good. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But I just feel like they have a shot to win this game because the Patriots, I've seen them put up stinkers. So I'm just going to say, just put it out there because we can't all pick the same thing every time or just be a tie.
He's picking the Falcons, folks.
I'm picking the Falcons to win that game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All
not
right,
against the spread, just to win the game. Yeah.
Like it. CK, well, actually, I don't like it, but I understand
like it either.
CK and Pats head to Atlanta. The New England Patriots, the New England Cheaters head to Falcons, 7-point road favorites. Right?
Yeah.
Who you got?
I got the Pats. I mean, the Pats. The right now the Falcons are just a very bad team, pretty much all the way around, and pretty much any way that you can expect the team to be bad. It's a problem. They are out there. Their top wide receiver in Calvin Ridley. I think that's going to be Kyle Pitts is going to be an easy thing to account for after you realize you have no other weapons really on the offense. So it's definitely going to be the Pats game to lose.
I'm kind of with Greg. Is that I think this is a trap game. But I'm picking the Patriots. A, because I'm rooting against the Falcons forever in my whole life. And B, the Falcons got stomped like mofos by that. I was like, stomp.
That's
like
what makes it a trap game for me, though.
Round.
Yeah.
I mean, that is
never,
the word of a trap, but Tony is on the Pats. What do you got, Cody?
I would never pull for the Falcons to win a football game, but I would also never trust them to beat the Patriots late in the year. Yeah, dude. I know better. I'm going Patriots.
Next, Giants head to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, the book understands their anger. He understands Tom Brady's anger. The Buccaneers are 10.5-point favorites hosting the Giants. Anybody going to pick against the Bucs after a loss to the Washington football team? Anybody want to hitch their wagon to Daniel Jones and those boys, which I actually think are scrappy? I don't hate any of these fools, but I hate Tampa. I hate Tom Brady more, but he ain't losing 2 in a row like this to 2 bum teams. I'm picking the Bucs. Anybody else want something different?
I got to go Bucks here, man. The Giants beat the shit out of us, so you're right. They are scrappy, but I don't think the Bucks are losing 3 in a row. And is it in Tampa Bay or in New Orleans?
It's in Tampa. Which man,
yeah, they're not gonna lose.
Now they finally have fans.
Yeah.
Tampa. Yeah, I'm going Tampa.
CK, same.
Yeah, Tampa. I want to go to the Giants so hard, but I think the Tampa Bay could be in a backslide right now. And if they lose to the Giants, it is season over for them. I don't care how in the mix they really are.
If they lose to the Giants and we win, are we tied for division lead?
Right now, we're still 2 games behind them.
Okay. So we'd be a game back, and they're going into a bye. So we'd be a half game back.
How are we 2 games behind anybody? Oh, just because of overall record?
No,
because they were 6-2, so they moved to 6-3, and we moved to what? 5
We're
and
5-5.
5-5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they just
neither
had
team's
their
had a bye
We're
yet.
like even with them, homie.
Yeah.
I think. Are we a game back? Really? Is that what you're saying?
They're
And we
4
haven't
and
lost the division.
Tampa's
They've lost the division. People haven't they
6
lost to
and
somebody
3.
in the division?
Tampa's 6-3. How are we 5-5? They haven't had their bye yet.
We haven't either.
I know, so they should have the same
I
number of
thought
games
they were
as us.
6-2, and when I saw them, they were 6-2 in that Washington. I thought that's what I saw.
I could be wrong about
in
the
this
bye, and
past
they could be
week.
throwing us all off.
So that means they're 6-3, right? I mean, that's what I think. Somebody look up the record. All right, last is the Saints. And are they at the Eagles? Saints at the Eagles, I believe. Is that right? New Orleans Saints are 5-4. No. They face off November 21st at 1 p.m. Saints at Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles here, bro. The Eagles have been throwing they throw body blows at people. They beat us. I know. They have been fighting teams. They lost to the Bucks by 3 or something on the road. They have played good teams tough. And why they may not have equaled wins all the time. The Saints are fighting a giant uphill battle. I don't know the status of Kamara. He was out last week and hurt. We know that their quarterback situation with Simeon and whoever the Mormon dude is or whatever, doesn't matter. They don't have any wide receivers. They are hoping their defense gets the job done. And Jalen Hurts, people like to shit on him. This dude gets it done, man.
Oh, he's
this
been picking it up.
He's playing well.
I like him. I like him. And you know what? I would think he's a bridge quarterback. He's like a better than Bridgewater quarterback.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm picking the Eagles. I got the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm probably I just don't know if I trust New Orleans right now. Trevor Simeon is their starter still. No, I'm not gonna do it just yet. I know it'd be easy to be on the NFC South losing train, but I sadly think the Saints.
You're picking the Saints? Nice.
I think they figure out a way to beat
I'm
the
writing
Giants.
this down. All right. Who's
Uh,
next?
I'm taking the Eagles on this one. I think their defense, they're just like Atlanta. They can beat any team in the NFL when they're on top of their game. They're playing well, but I just never believe in the Saints, especially not with Drew Brees. So I got to go with Philly. Oh, and so Carolina's 5-5, Tampa Bay 6-3. Tampa Bay did have their bye. That was my mistake, which means we're a game and a half back from Tampa Bay. So if we win this week and they lose, we'll be a half game back from them.
Right on. All right, man. Those are on the picks for this week of the CK. You got yours in. Who'd you get? Did you pick right? No,
I'm going Eagles. The Eagles have been playing too well, and Trevor Simeon is definitely not it.
All right. So all three of us are Eagles, Cody, Lash, Saints.
Yep.
Is that right? Or did I miss him?
His different pick is smarter than my different pick. Say that.
So, all right, let's go to. Well, first I will remind you guys this is the longest running Panthers podcast, and you the dopest fans in the world. You're giving us your time, your energy, listening to us right now. Amazing, being part of my life, keeping me going. I've been scratching and clawing for interviews. We had a great one with Louie Tee tonight. We've got Washington Times beat reporter coming on Wednesday. We be doing things, folks. I'm about to pull us some. I'm working. You help us work. You know who I want on this podcast, guys? We need the fans to help us do it. We need Trey Boston to come up in here.
Yes.
One night. That's my goal. He won't respond right now. And not that he's mad or nothing, but he probably got a bazillion at mentions. We gotta, I used to text. Now this sounds creepy. When he first was with the Panthers, his mom was on Twitter. And she would message back and forth, kind of like, not like direct message, but she would at message. You know what I'm saying? She'd be retweeting, she'd be talking. So it's not like I'm not trying to say I was messing with his mom. Please don't twist that. But I was like, I cannot remember her name. Like, I was like, if I could just find her name again, because she was so nice. She would respond. We'd be like, we root for Trey Boston. She'd be like, I know, we really like this and that. So I'm like, been trying to, but I can't remember her name. We need Trey Boston on this podcast, bro. I mean, that's the next get for us. We need you to smash the thumbs up button. We need you to subscribe. We need you to call in at 252-228-5098. We need you to help us make content. That's what I'm saying. Let's get this. Let's grow this together. You're part of this community. The number is 252-228-5098. Now it's time to hit them with the longest running segment on the internet when it comes to Carolina Panthers. I tell you, we unleashed this way back in the day. I can actually tell you the week we unleashed it. It was the day after the Patriots came to Carolina on Monday night, and Steve Smith would be messing with them. And you're Tim, that's silly. We'd be messing. Aqib Talib Kweli, your name. Steve Smith was all over it. And this is our Ice Up segment where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up, to get it together. Everyone is fair game, including 15-year-olds in Oklahoma who I have iced up. Anybody you want. Y'all got anybody you want to put the freeze on? Who's itching?
I'm still finding the one.
All right. Well, then I'm itching. I'm ready. So if you guys want me to come, I'm ready to bring the smoke.
Do your thing.
I got two. All right. Let me. Number one is this: is anytime someone tells you no offense, they say this: no offense, but blah blah blah. Be prepared to be offended. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't preface stuff with no offense and then I'm gonna give you the F you. I'm sorry, folks. Number one ice up is to the no offensers. And look, I've done it. But just remember, when you say no offense, but here's a great example. Bill Parcells one time said this: no offense, but this is what we call a Jap play. And I laughed. I ain't got no problem with the comment. But what he was talking about, he was the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And what he was saying is this: these mugs ran a trick play. So he's referring to Pearl Harbor, surprise attack, this and that. But just remember, anytime someone says no offense, be prepared to be offended. So don't use no offense as a smoke screen. That's my number one ice up. My number two ice up goes, I gotta make sure I pull it up right. Let me see if I can share it. This is the wrong stream. All right, it goes to this fool. His name is, I don't even want to mention his name. His name is Nick Adams. I don't know who he is. I have no idea who he is. His name is at Nick Adams USA. He has 213,000 followers on Twitter. He is a best-selling author according to Twitter in his own bio, endorsed by Trump. What a douchebag this guy is. And the reason I say this is that this is his tweet. Cam Newton has no business playing in the NFL while a strong Christian like Tim Tebow remains a free agent.
Get him.
Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? First of all, Dick Badams, because I don't want to say your name ever again. You should not get a follow. You should not get any press. I'm sitting over here begging for people to help us to get the 3,000 subscribers, and so 214,000 idiots have followed this dude on Twitter. What the fuck? First of all, I identify as a Catholic. You may identify as a Dick Adams, or whatever your name is, Dick Badams. But who gives a shit what you think, what I believe? And fuck you for being on Mount High trying to say one person is better than another person. The most anti-Christian mess I've ever heard. Next, Cam Newton been walking through the desert 40 days, reading his devotionals. Where's your little props to that? Whatever. And I'm not trying to slander Tim Tebow, and I'm not trying to slander non-Christians, Christians, this and that. But Dick Badams, that's not very Christian to say. That's not very Christian to say. And I say, ice up to you, Dick Badams.
Yeah, who does he like? Tim Tebow never proved himself to be a good player in the NFL. And by the way, Cam Newton's father is a pastor. So what's he talking about? Good Christian man for a dude? Like,
who cares?
So
Christian people. What did Jesus say? Jesus said to walk past a person. Did Jesus be like this? How about this? Do you think Jesus walked past somebody and said, "Oh, look at that free agent center versus this free agent center. Who's better?" Because no, Jesus loved all them people. And Dick Badams, thank God Jesus loves everybody, because I don't love you.
Hey, Jesus was hanging around thieves, crooks, murderers, and hookers and whores, man.
True. No, he had to be with the sick. Does the doctor hang out with the healthy, bro? Does the doctor hang out with the healthy? No. And Jesus didn't ever do none of that. Y'all are prescribing Dick Badams. Thank God Jesus loves everybody, because I don't love you.
So, I mean, I guess I'll go next here. Mine isn't as strong as it has been before, but I'll always take the opportunity to shit on mainstream media. Right now, MSNBC and CNN, their ratings are lower than they ever have been. And in their prime time slots from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., they don't have anyone under the age of 55 watching them. Dude, that is bad. Do you think people have turned off the mainstream media, dude? I'm so happy for it.
One part of the mainstream media.
Yeah, one part of
one
it.
part of the mainstream media.
You should turn off all parts of the mainstream media.
Say that again. Say those statistics one more time.
So CNN and MSNBC, their viewers are down by a lot. They're so for example, at 8:00 they don't even pull 300,000 viewers on a normal like Friday night.
Dude, we're about to surpass them, homie.
I know, dude. People, nobody goes to mainstream media news and outlets for their news anymore, man. And you shouldn't. I mean, dude, it doesn't matter if you're talking about sports, the world at large. Dude, find independent news and sports talk. That's why you come to us. You're getting more in-depth Panther news and information here than you are any other place. But same with the news, man. There are far better news channels out there on YouTube that are keeping people informed of real news and real things that are actually going on. So to the establishment media, ice up, son. You're dead. You serve no purpose.
Ice up. CK, you want to go? You want me to go?
Either way.
Okay, mine's quick. I'll go real quick. Personal experience then. Last Sunday, going to go eat dinner or lunch with my family. We're trying to figure out where to go, and everywhere's packed. So we decided Red Robin. I don't think I've been to Red Robin since college. It's been a long, long time. We stop in there. I walk inside to see how long the wait is, and the lady tells me there's no wait. And well, let me put it out there real quick: is I don't care what side of the fence you fall on with vaccinations and masks and everything else. I really don't. It doesn't bother me. People are independent to feel whatever they want to feel. Okay, but if you're gonna feel one way, then go all the way. Don't just half-ass it to cover your ass, because then you're just a bullshitter. So I go into Red Robin and I walk up to the host, and she tells me, she goes, "Well, to come in, you have to have a mask," which is fine. I understand establishment. I don't personally believe in wearing masks, but if establishment wants me to wear a mask, sure, I'll wear a mask, no problem, because I'm not going to cause a problem with it, So I asked her, I said, she has masks they can provide for us. So when I look around, there's nobody else in the restaurant, the servers, the bartenders, nobody else sitting in the restaurants for a mask. It's like, well, how long do we have to wear the mask? And she says, well, you have to wear the mask to come in the door. Then once you come in and you're being seated, you can take the mask off. So I looked at her and I was like, are you serious? And she said, yeah, that's the policy. We're trying to keep up with CDC standards. And I said, this is keeping up with CDC standards? Like, for real? Like I don't understand people's obsession with being so far one way or the other.
Optics, bro.
It's just so optics. Crazy. Yes, listen, if a fart can get through a pair of underwear and a pair of jeans, okay, or a pair of breeches, then I promise you a virus can get through a mask. All right, I promise you it can. So to Red Robin, I say, ice up. Yeah.
CK?
Mine is going to be, and you guys may have talked about it on the post game. Did you guys talk about Teddy Bridgewater?
No, actually we didn't. And by the way, that video has been floating around a little bit.
Well, Teddy Bridgewater is like, just hated by the Denver Broncos fans right now. Basically, there was
he was so loved in the beginning.
Yeah.
They were all of that Teddy
admired.
BD.
And so basically, there was a play that took place where one of his receivers or running back or something had fumbled the ball, and Teddy Bridgewater had an opportunity to make a tackle, and just basically did nothing. Like, looked at almost as little effort as you possibly could offer in trying to stop Slayton. Who was it? Darius Slay. And
it was on a fumble recovery too, from the most fumbled man in the history of the world, Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, they were right, and they were still in this game. Now, granted, they hadn't played fantastic the entire time, but they were still in the game. Teddy Bridgewater just does absolutely nothing. Now, people are trying to equate that with Cam Newton not going for the fumble, and they're two very separate situations. One is there was zero chance that Cam Newton was going to get it. Every opportunity that Teddy Bridgewater had to make this tackle was 100% there. Teddy Bridgewater did absolutely nothing to try to help his team win, and that was just the epitome of Teddy Bridgewater. I laughed hysterically when I saw that. I'm sitting here watching Tim Jenkins kind of make jokes about it. Which Tim Jenkins, he's a friend of the show. I'm starting to get a little frustrated with his shade that he's throwing at Cam Newton lately. But
I got some issues too. I'm with you.
Like he almost comes across as like a Cam hater, like everybody else. I would have thought out of anybody, he would be the one that would be like supportive of Cam Newton. But he, like, because he's got stake in it with PJ Walker, like he wants PJ Walker to get the start, so he's just shit talking Cam Newton for no reason other than his boys on the team and getting an opportunity. But nonetheless, I'm gonna say ice up to Teddy Bridgewater, and hey, maybe you'll find another team after this year.
Did you hear his excuse whenever they asked him about it?
He said he was trying to make him go inside.
Yeah, well, no, he said he was taught to drive him to the sidelines, use the out of bounds as a defender, but he wasn't even trying to drive him out of bounds. He was going in.
Oh my God, he went to take a nap. Yeah. Fuck that dude. And you know what? I mean, fuck that. That's the explanation that made me not like him. You
No
know what? It's just
responsibility, no
own it up.
accountability.
It's be like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a quarterback and I don't tackle people.
Yeah,
I would
no
have rather hear that than I tried to drive him to the side. What did you try to drive him? You tried to drive him to the end zone to score a touchdown, dickhead. You didn't try to drive him anywhere but to Cuckland in your damn van, that creepy ass minivan. Anyway, it's the C3 Panthers podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we talk about the Panthers for an incredibly long time. We hung out with Louie Tee tonight, was fantastic, brought the energy. Y'all brought the energy in the chat room. This Wednesday, Cody, we're going to be doing the beat check, and I've already lined up Washington Times reporter Matthew Paris, or you can call him Matt Paris, and I'm trying to work on John Ellis, the hardest man to get in touch with, it feels like. I mean, he always messages back, but these cats are busy. Anyway, the beat check going to be lit with the Washington Times reporter as well as me debating you, and I'm coming. I got to come back. I got to punch back. I cannot let last week. Look, you claim that you dominate every week, and I know that's what you got to say. But last week the people spoke, and you did
It's just
dominate.
the truth.
The weeks before I won. I won the week before. The people spoke the week before, but you dominated every category last week, according to the commenters. I'm coming. I've been working out. I've been flexing. I've been lifting. I've been getting ready for debate my take. So, what
Just
else we
another
got going on
Wednesday
this
night
week?
to me, Tony Dunn. Just light work.
Shush.
Light
Shush.
work. You know what I mean? Every Wednesday, just light work.
Shush.
You know,
What else
brush
we
my
got this
shoulders
week?
off a little
Pass the
bit.
mic around, homie.
Yeah,
Tell them what we
man,
got to do. Get us out of here. Don't make
So
me
look,
do all this.
look, man. Tomorrow night, C3 beat check. We're gonna check the beat, and you already know we're going to bring you all the information you need regarding this Panthers Washington football team matchup. Then on Thursday, at some point, we're going to be putting out the Madden simulation. Those
With
will be
Cam
right
Newton
back
at the
on
helm,
track.
baby.
That's right, man. This is
Oh
gonna
my
be lit.
God.
Can't
How
wait
do
to
you
do
keep
that
it
with you,
together?
CK. That's gonna be incredible. And then, as always, every Friday at 7 p.m., you, yes, you, whoever you are listening to this right now, can join us live on the Friday Free For All, 7 p.m. every Friday. I post the link to the StreamYard so you can all come in, hang out, talk Panthers, share your opinion, and tell us what you think about this Panther football team, how excited you are for Cam Newton. And look, man, tomorrow there will be a brand new mock draft on drafttech.com where I am the analyst for the Carolina Panthers. I write first and second round comments. And yeah, check us out, man. And hit me up on Twitter at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. That's it, man.
We got the post game show as well. I was on today with Gary V and Draft Kings show. It's fun. And Greg, who is always on top of, I guess what I would say, cultural. What do you call it? I mean, like it's like cultural entertainment.
Yeah,
Greg, the Bat Daddy, every Friday night. Tell them where they can find your work because look, you guys are on top of it. You guys put in the work. And first, I want to give mad shout out to Sarah Taylor. She's probably not up listening, but next time you talk to her, tell her I even gave her a shout out this late in the show.
That's what's up. That's my podcast wife right there. So, yeah, you can find me at the Bad Daddy 52 on Twitter. It's my personal handle, or at SCS Podcast 1 is the show handle. We cover all kinds of media, anything books, television, movies, like that. This week we're covering Prodigy as we've been continuing on. Discovery Season 4 has its coming out season premiere this week. I'm going to cover Arcane Seasons 1 through 6 on Netflix. If you like anime, that's a great one to watch. We're doing our Shang-Chi review this weekend, which is going to be really fun. Talking about Foundation, Future Man. There's all kinds of stuff going on. The Spider-Man trailer just dropped right before the show started. It's amazing. I can't wait. And then future stuff, man. The Matrix is coming out. We're going to Masters of the Universe, Hawkeye, Eternals. We cover everything.
Masters of the Universe.
Yes, yes.
Shoot.
The second half of the
Walker
season comes out, I think, next week. And something y'all need to check out on Netflix. If you haven't seen the preview for it, it comes out Friday. Check out the preview. Cowboy Bebop comes out this Friday. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Is that the Korean one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, and I'm really, really excited for that one. We're probably going to cover that Friday. And I think this Friday, Cody Lack might grace us with his presence to talk about some Arcane and some Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I really want.
And I think if you see the previews for Cowboy Bebop, you might watch that one too. So.
Oh, dude, have you seen the original Cowboy Bebop? The original Japanese anime? Oh, dude, that was one of the shows that, like, when I was growing up, like early teens, a certain select few anime came on Adult Swim that got everybody really hardcore into anime, and Cowboy Bebop was one of them.
I might have to check it out now because
yeah, it's one of the greatest animes of all time. I love it. If you're an anime fan, Tony, you would like that too. It's a really adult oriented.
All right, I'm gonna check it out. I like to hang out with you nerds. I'm a nerd too, but I like to hang out with you young nerds and your.
Hey, just watch the preview for the live action Cowboy Bebop and tell me it doesn't look fucking amazing. It really looks good. But you can find us Friday nights live, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. We sometimes have to bump it to a Saturday, just if life catches in the way. But usually it's every Friday night, and then we drop the audios on Monday. Any podcatcher of your choice.
CK just back from the wildest town in the. It's close to the wildest town in the world. Don't bring me there. I hope you came back in one piece.
Oh, I did. Vegas is one of those towns where once you go once or twice, you're kind of like, all right, I've experienced it. You might go back from time to time, but not more than a day or two at a time. It's not a place that I would venture on a regular occurrence. But
don't bring me there.
Don't take a gambler and a Vegas to alcohol, or a gambler and an alcoholic to Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. That's a paradise. But hopefully, there's some things that kind of culminated there. Hopefully, you'll start to see the fruits of that here with the C3 if things if things go well. If Tony is down for that. You can find me at Code Dizzle Allen. We got the. If you guys want to check out the stuff coming out this year or this week for the Madden simulation, this week should be a pretty hot one.
Yep.
You guys go check him out on Facebook Gaming. He's streaming. He's the bestest voice in streaming. And he's my good friend, like you guys are. Not only the people on this panel, but the people that have given their time, their energy. And like my man said, you kept my ears burning for a bazillion hours, basically. I'm ready to go to bed. It's late. And I could talk all morning about the Panthers, but I think we got to go, Cody. I think we gotta go. We'll meet back up. And
for sure.
Be a fight. It's gonna be a fight tomorrow. Please check us out. Subscribe. Just be a part of the community. Cody Lash, CK, Greg. I love you, brothers. Keep pounding. Take us out of here, Cody.
Keep pounding.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Keep pounding.
Keep